Welcome into the Cam and Strick podcast, episode number
309. Yoink. What up? All y'all, what's up? America, Canada, Sweden, Germany,
Finland, Russia, Ukraine,
Ukraine, United Kingdom, all y'all. What's up? What's up with all you guys? What's going on? Let's go.
Germany.
I said that.
Spain.
We got some people from India.
Jamaica, baby.
Jamaica.
I'll give y'all a shout out. Those are my people.
All you guys, what's up? Hope you guys are having a good day today, you know?
Well, I am fighting through it, Cam.
Fuck, are you sick a lot?
You
are sick
any
a lot.
other partner you'd have would not be here today with my flu-like symptoms. Although it's allergies. Do you know that allergies, especially seasonal allergies, which I get, I had the most amazing eye drop and nasal spray that my incredible...
You've been partying, haven't you?
What are you talking about?
Isn't that something? Anytime he parties all weekend, he comes in here like, God, I got the cold again.
No.
I used to play that game too.
No. So she subscribed me or prescribed me the amazing medicine. My wife cleaning out the medicine cabinet threw it away. My eye drops and my nasal spray.
God.
Dude. And with my insurance right now, they're trying to charge me like $600 for this eye drop, dude.
Go get Clear Eyes from the gas station.
It doesn't work with my seasonal allergies.
Man, you're high maintenance.
Okay,
homie.
no, it doesn't work. So it feels like the flu. All y'all can relate to this. A lot of you guys who have this.
We're praying.
It's
Everybody's praying for you.
Flu-like symptoms.
Yeah.
Chills.
Oh, God.
Everything.
Oh, Lord.
Ty had 102 fever yesterday. He got sick the night before, or like the day before, and didn't sleep on Saturday night. All night was up, dude, and had a fever that morning, and then 102 throughout the day. Ivy is sick.
Oh, I'd see when Ivy.
It's going through the house. How do you know when school starts? This is when you know school starts.
Well, you know what else happens, Andy? Everybody else is dealing with the same thing. I went over to my buddy's house the other day. The kids are sick. Yes. And they're like, let's go out in the garage and do our thing and hang out.
What are you doing in the garage?
Get me out of the house. I wanted to say, because anytime I go to my buddy, I want to say hi to the kids, man.
Yeah.
They're hilarious. You know, they always try to show off, or they'll like the older son, and I think Ty probably does this too, around his two sisters will just like do something aggressive.
Oh, yeah. Because
I show up, he'll go and he'll tackle one of them. And they'll like hit their head like bam, and my buddy will be like, "Dude, get over there and sit." So now he's all weirded out. The poor kid. I wanted to throw the ball up. Now he's in timeout because he got aggressive with his sisters because he's trying to show off. I remember doing that as a kid. It's hilarious, but they're all sick, man. All these kids are sick, and they're gonna be sick for the next 2 months. It is what it is, Andy. You're okay. You're always complaining about it's unbelievable. Always complaining about something like I'm on an island by myself. No, you're not. This is going on through every fucking household with kids.
No, I'm fighting through it.
You know, like you ain't fighting through it. You drove 2 miles here and you're sitting with me. We got Paul Maurice on. Like everything's good, you know. Okay. Don't be down. Don't bring me down.
So Ivy went to a Taylor Swift event on Friday night. Did you see the videos? I'm sure you did.
I did. I always.
You can't miss them.
Just the cutest goddamn thing in the world.
Okay, so then the next morning we're leaving for hockey super early, and Ty hates like Taylor Swift. He hates the fact that she likes Taylor.
That's fine.
He grabs her little lightsaber that she had.
Yeah.
And just starts banging it on the ground.
That's unacceptable.
It just breaks it.
Did you do something about that?
In pieces.
Poor little Ivy, dude. Come on.
Well, I can buy a new one at Party City. It's one of those light up things for 50 cents.
But still.
Yeah, no, I wasn't happy about it.
Again, that's petty, you know? Like Andy's trying to create something here, and it's still petty. I will say this, so I am going to be nice, Cam, today. I do get rattled easy, and a guy did message me.
Oh, really?
Yes. I was nice, Cam. Last one.
Can you read it?
I'll read it.
Because with my illness, Cam, I can't read right now. I can't read this.
You don't read no good, no how.
The small print, I can't read with my illness. Go ahead.
So he goes, stop. So I get rattled about this stuff. No one really chirps too much.
Mean Cam?
I don't want to be mean, Cam. They think, sometimes I'll get one of these where he's like, okay. And I think this was late at night. And I remember calling him on a Sunday because he had things going on with his buddy. I think he's from Saskatchewan or something.
Okay.
So I remember going out of my way to talk to him. So and I'm kind of looking back at the messages he sent me.
Yeah.
And so this one kind of came out of the blue and he goes, I'll be done listening to your podcast the next time you degrade Andy
Oh.
for trying to be the best he can be. When I come to add reads, this is how I'm reading it because this is how he's putting in the prompter.
Make sure.
When I comes to your ad reads and Illinois Recovery Center, you clearly have more time than Andy with his kids, but yet you keep him down. The Recovery Center doesn't work like that. I'm sure you'll figure that out, pal. It's getting old. People pump people up, don't pump them down. Going forward and long from now, and mental health addictions, nothing's a joke.
Oh.
God dang,
I like that guy.
What did I say to him?
Thank you very much for that.
And my rebuttal was I pump up Andy when it's necessary. When he does something good, when he looks good on TV, I'll always pump his tires up. But then I'll chirp him too, just like he chirps me. The question I have for him is, when does Andy ever pump my tires up?
Oh.
And I go,
Are
wait.
we turning this around?
I'm just trying to figure it out.
Let's focus on...
Was I mean to you last week?
No, last week you weren't that bad.
Okay.
But he may have listened to 2 weeks ago. And
maybe that's what it
where
was.
you were
then.
getting mean
I didn't mean to.
And I know
I'm
when
apologizing.
Mean Cam comes out.
Yeah, I know. And I didn't mean to.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And like, listen, I talk to Andy 50,000 times a day. No. Literally maybe an hour. I'll look down. If Andy calls, I talk to him. We'll talk for 20 minutes. Like we have another, like it's not just this. We chirp each other on here. We want to be entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
But anytime I get a message like that, though, I do get rattled.
Yeah.
You ask my wife, and I don't want to
Did you read that to her?
Yeah.
What'd she say?
She goes, "Oh, he's probably text." He goes, she goes, just message him back.
Yeah.
And say, "Hey, dude," and he'll get back.
Kate can always bring some
like
reason to
she
things.
does. She, but she knows that it is what it is. We
Uh-huh.
rag on each other. It's all good. But
Mm-hmm.
that got me today. But I'm glad I'm like that.
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm like that because I know even in being a teammate in the locker room and stuff like that, man. Like there's a balance to everything. There's just a balance to everything, and sometimes you can be a little hardcore. And I apologize.
Yeah.
That's all.
Okay.
No big deal.
It's all good,
Are you
man.
okay?
I'm fine today, yeah.
Sniffly?
A couple weeks ago. Well, it's the allergies. It's allergy season.
Sniffles. He was partying with fucking Diddy.
Dude.
He was partying with
Okay,
Diddy.
can we talk about where he's at right now in the Brooklyn jail?
All these hardcore rappers, man. These rappers are so hardcore. Yeah, gangster. Come on.
Give me some hardcore.
Not 50. Not Soulja Boy. Soulja Boy came out and said, good thing I didn't fucking do this shit. I would have killed that motherfucker. But a lot of people did, man. Those after parties, it's not just like one. It's freaky.
Parties.
They're all
They're
fucking each other. They're fucking ecstasy rolling. It's like being at the Lake of the Ozarks with all those Hoosiers down there doing the same thing. But this is on a different scale. You got celebrities, you got young, you got old, you got this, you got that, you got directors, you got people that you can extort that stay after the hours and they do all this stuff and they're involved and all of a sudden they're like, boom.
So he would basically
extort everybody.
What do you mean extort them?
Because he has cameras everywhere. So all this weird stuff's going on. And he's like, I got you on camera. Now we're going to do business here, blah, 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 blah. And so there's so much coming out. It's unbelievable. It's hard to even keep up with.
Why would they do that on camera? Why,
they don't know.
Why would he? Oh.
They don't know there's cameras.
You said that they're being extorted.
Well, yeah, but then if anything goes down, like, hey, man, I got you.
Or is he promising, hey, you do this, then I'm going to sign you to a deal and I'm going to pay you, whatever?
Either way. And I will say, though.
So it's more of a control. It's not an extortion situation, or is it?
Yeah, dude. Though he's smart, man. And he's powerful, and he has a ton of money. He's one of the most powerful guys in the business.
He's lost a lot of money now.
Well, I'm just saying, when he was in control, he controlled a lot of people, and it's just interesting, dude. It really, really, really is. And now everybody's like, what are we doing with this?
Has he ever been to jail before? Has he ever been to jail before?
Dude, if you look up if you look him up, like he's got so many cases where he settled out of civil suits, settle women, beating up women. You saw that video of him grabbing that girl.
Outside the hotel room.
And like kicked her in the fucking head. And dragged her in like, you're not done with me. They'd have these ecstasy parties. And trust me, if you don't know, if you know, you know. You'll roll Molly for 3 fucking days. and you don't eat and you're sexual, when you roll Molly and you do ecstasy, it makes you want to like be around like, oh yeah, like you're sensual, like you want to lay by. It's really fucked up. It's great. It's unbelievable. It's an ecstasy. That's what ecstasy means. Like you're in like La La Land. And he would just have these freak ass parties, and now all this weird stuff's coming out, man. So
yeah, so he's been denied bail twice.
Yeah.
Apparently, this Brooklyn jail that he's in is.
He's on Suey Watch now too.
No, that's routine. I've read all about that. You got to read.
Yeah,
Cam. That's routine suicide watch when you first stay in the prison, right? The first
they put
number
you
of
in
hours, you're on suicide watch.
I see what you're saying.
It's
with
routine. His lawyer has come out and said that he's not suicidal and he's healthy and he's looking to fight this. Now that's the lawyer talking.
Yeah, we trust him.
But I'm just saying, he does say that he's not suicidal.
All
now,
good.
he very well may be.
Oh, I bet you $1 billion he is.
Okay, so
how can you not be? And he's telling me, he's the way the lawyer says. Okay. Yeah. P. Diddy lived on top of the world for so long, and now he's in jail and he's not on Suey Watch? Sure.
Do you know about
Keep an eye on him. Keep an eye on him. Don't have the guards look away, and then all of a sudden the cameras don't. What's going on here? Oh, he hung himself. Interesting.
That was Jeffrey
Do you know how hard
Epstein.
that is to do?
And
he broke his neck in such a different way. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, that was Jeffrey Epstein.
Okay, okay, so that was Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah,
yes. Yes. No, you're just going on and on. We're doing one thing to the next. One thing to the next. Hold on. My question is, do you know about the conditions that he's in, about the reputation with this jail facility?
Ooh, I don't know too much about it.
Brooklyn jail
yeah.
is considered the most hardcore jail in the country.
Yeah.
With the conditions, mold, dirty water.
Yeah. Weird.
You've got a lot of pre-sentenced hardcore criminals.
Yep.
You've got criminals who have been sentenced who are waiting to be moved to their long-term destination, to that facility. At nighttime, people are screaming nonstop and they're banging the cells. Now, he's being kept away from general public, but again, it doesn't make it that much better. That's for his own security, because when you are a high-profile inmate, then somebody may try to do harm to you because it's some type of badge of honor or something like that in type of prison. So his lawyer is trying to get him moved from that facility as well. That's where R. Kelly had to go to. I believe Jeffrey Epstein had to go there too. That may be where he actually committed suicide. And I believe 3 inmates have committed suicide in that facility within the last month. Are you saying Epstein didn't? Like, what's the
hell no?
Who killed him?
Probably some sort of secret agent. It's very, very. Well, you didn't read about that story. Like, even if like the way
I know the conspiracy. I'm just curious.
Just the way like his throat was crushed. Like you can't do that on your own. The cameras didn't work. The guards were over here. Like everything in play.
Are there usually cameras there?
God, yeah.
Where he was?
Of course.
And now there's no footage
There was no footage of it. Funny how that works. I mean, there's so many conspiracy theories. How can you not be a conspiracy theorist? Sorry to get so crazy off the bat. I didn't mean to It's just interesting. We didn't, there's preseason's still going on. We got an awesome interview coming up with Paul Maurice. I'm just saying.
Slow down. This what happens. Hang on. Well, I want to stay on this for 1 second.
I'm not leaving. I'm just you're telling me I'm too much, and I'm just explaining why.
I want to go over some different layers of this particular story. So there's a lot of celebrities who are being mentioned, right? And who are even coming out and saying things. Didn't Ashton Kutcher come out and say something?
A lot of them are deleting their Twitter. I know that.
Some of them are doing that.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's proof
Usher.
of that and whatever.
Well, it's easy to look.
Yeah.
Like Usher and Pink.
Yeah, Pink apparently did. Why would she delete her? What did she have that would be incriminating on her Twitter?
Because she hung with P. Diddy a lot.
Okay, but what would be incriminating?
Maybe if guilty by association. She's probably like, I know exactly what we're doing.
Well, I don't mind that. There's nothing. I mean, if you're her,
would too.
delete your.
I remember
if this guy's doing shit, Cam.
Yeah.
And he's that horrible of a person.
They know it.
Then you have like tweets out there suggesting that he's a great friend of yours and a great guy, and you got your arm around him and you're hanging with him. I mean, there's LeBron James on a FaceTime call with him, basically saying, "Ain't no party like a Diddy party," which people have said for a long, long time. But just because of that, don't assume
no doubt
that the Pink or anybody else or LeBron James, engaged in what type of activity you're talking about. Right?
Yeah. But anyway, I agree with you on that because anybody could have a picture. There's so many pictures of Epstein with celebrities and Harvey Weinstein. How can you not take a picture with Harvey Weinstein when you're in the scene in Hollywood, even if you know he's a fucking dirtbag? Although I wouldn't take a picture of him if you knew that he was fucking doing his thing. But it's all good. But you get in those situations where it's all of a sudden, hey, you two to come together. Okay, fine. You know, I get all that.
But I've met celebrities, take a picture with them, and that celebrity could all of a sudden be incriminated like tomorrow with some type of crazy, heinous act. And I'd be like, fuck, I don't want this out there.
And they're like, look at Andy. No, but
hanging out with them, you know?
Harvey Weinstein had a reputation. So if you take a picture with him in the last however many years, you know that he's a fucking scumbag, but you do it anyway. I still don't blame you for that. It's all good. But there is a lot of weird stuff. The one guy that we not are associated with, but the hockey kind of world is, especially up in Toronto, is Justin Bieber in this whole situation. And I feel bad for him, man. There's videos of him and Diddy. Listen, at 15 years old, he's at his house. He's giving him these fucking cars. Like, this is yours, buddy. He's like doing this. He's staying the night with Diddy at 15 years old. Like, it's unbelievable. He saw all that weird stuff at such a young age. Who knows what they did to him? Who knows? Like, that kind of scars you for life, man. Like, it's all bizarre. It's so bizarre. And we'll see what happens. But again, like, there's sex parties. All these rappers do that fucking shit, man. A lot of them do.
I don't think it's just rappers, though, man.
No, I told you, it's fucking high-up CEOs.
I just think just because they go to the party does not mean that they're staying till 5 a.m. when all the shit goes down, or 3 a.m. or whatever.
It's after 12. Okay. You ever go to a party and not stay after 12?
No, but I'm different. A lot of people don't.
You know,
I like to stay, but I don't. But I never.
Do you trust the word of these celebrities?
No.
Any of them? None. I don't trust any of them.
But I'm not.
I don't trust the politicians with Epstein. Any of that stuff.
It's just not in me personally. I don't ever like I don't care that much about it. I find it interesting. Like, I was never a P. Diddy fan.
Near me.
I was never like. I never knew a ton about him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know more about him today than I've ever known because I like read up on like who he was and whatever. You know, it's more like his close confidants. I think that's where you focus. Jay-Z, some of those type of guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you know, if somebody went to a party because he throws badass parties and a lot of celebrities and A-listers are there, I can't fault anybody for going to a party.
I don't trust any of them.
Just because they went to a party?
I just don't trust. I just think they're all shady. You know, I didn't do anything. Yeah, sure. You know,
well, that's
all those guys.
You're assuming everybody did.
Not everyone. I'm just saying for the most part. Like, these guys are all Hollywood, all in the same scene. They know what the fuck's going on. They do.
I'll tell you this, Cam. If it was me and I had a picture.
That's just my opinion.
And I was at Diddy parties and I've got pictures of Diddy and myself like hanging out. And I never did anything crazy or illegal or sexual or anything like that. I wouldn't want that up on my Twitter account.
Yeah, I'd delete it 100%.
Like, get the fuck. I don't want anyone associating me with it.
I agree. Yeah. I just, I'm not giving anybody the benefit of the doubt. That's the only thing. And you know what? If I was somewhere, no one would give me the benefit of the doubt either.
No, I'd have to delete every picture I have with you, dude.
I would not.
I'd have to take them all down from Cam. I can't be associated with Cam.
Andy would leave me, you know, he wouldn't even actually, Andy's the only one that did stick up for me when I was in a jam on social media. So I can't chirp you for that.
But I stuck up for you behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes too. Yeah. Yeah. And it all worked out, man. You know what I mean? But anyway, do I care that there's other things going on in the world? No doubt about it. It's just funny. It's just funny, man. It's not funny because there's people that are getting tortured and stuff like that.
I don't know how funny it is, man. This is like a sad part of our society,
things going on,
dude.
There's a lot of people.
Well, how bad is it? Like, what's really going on, dude? Like,
I would say.
You think he'll go to jail forever?
Like, yeah, he'll go to jail for 40 years, and that's pretty much forever. Yeah, that's what they're saying.
Like,
with
he
all
won't
these
even
different
get
counts,
out now. If he's not getting bail, he'll never get out.
I know. That's what I'm saying. So you put all that together. You listen to some of the lawyers, that, you know, not his lawyer, but other lawyers that are talking about what the case is and whatnot. They say probably 30 to 40 years. That's his life. So he's fucked.
He's 50 something.
But on the other hand, I do believe that he wants you to go, and now he's got you by the balls once you do what he wants you to do and are in that situation. Not everybody's going to do that. You're leaving early. I'm probably staying and then getting fucked over. Other people are leaving early. But the people that did stay, they made that decision too. You know what I mean? The girls that was like, yeah, I'll pay me $20,000. I'll come out there. They're making that decision as well. So It's not like he's kidnapping them out in Guatemala, putting them on a fucking, and carrying up the border. It's like these people are making this decision, and now everything's coming out.
Cameron, that's happening every weekend.
They're trying to separate themselves, but what they saw was probably more hardcore than if we're going down to fucking Clayton and we're partying with a bunch of rich people
every
in St.
weekend,
Louis.
there's rich people that probably go to Cabo and probably fly in girls to meet them out down in Cabo.
No
you know
doubt.
What I'm saying?
And then extort everybody afterwards while they secretly film them.
Do you think he's going to spill the beans on a lot of people?
I hope, I don't think he's going to last long.
Like, what's the benefit for him to do that if he's never going to get out?
Tear down, burn everything down.
Who do you think's at most risk here?
That's a good question. CEOs of businesses.
What kind of businesses?
Billion-dollar.
His businesses?
No, people that work for him, that knew what was going on. Inner circle of people. Some rappers that are going to call it maybe because a video is going to come out of them hanging with Diddy, if you catch my drift. Stuff like that.
Yeah, but hanging with him is not...
Did you see what I did there?
Okay, so that was a quote.
Come on,
that was an air
keep
quote.
up too. Like you're telling me to slow down, but you got to keep up as well.
I didn't really see your
hanging with Diddy, on camera, late hours. That's what I'm saying.
People are listening too. Not everybody's watching right now.
My bad. All right, I'm doing the thing. Watch on YouTube anyway. It's way better. But yeah, that kind of stuff, Andy. We'll see. It's interesting.
Okay, did you see the arrest video?
I believe so. Yeah.
I don't think you did.
Okay, why?
Well, you would have known.
Oh, no, they tagged him out and they told...
At the hotel.
At the hotel. They walked in, all his buddies were like, whoa. And it was only like
what was
three...
he doing? Those guys, they didn't have guns or anything. Would they say, Diddy, hey, come here, we want to talk to you?
Because they knew. Usually if somebody went up to Diddy like that, two white guys that look like they look like in suits...
But he went right with them.
Why do you think?
Tell me.
Because they knew their FBI, like, whoa, this is a big deal. All his buddies were sitting there like... Usually if somebody came up, they'd be like, what's going on here? No.
No, I know that.
So what do you mean?
But why do you think he didn't try to turn around and run? Or how come you don't think he didn't try to leave the country?
Because when he pulled up, there was fucking unmarked cars everywhere leading up, boom. And then there's going to have two guys come out. There's 50 fucking swinging dicks everywhere. Are you kidding me? Yeah, damn right. You're dang right. So it's interesting. It's not the
he wasn't home when they raided the house, but I think his sons
he was
some
on
other people.
He took the first time he wasn't. I remember that.
No, but a more recent time too.
I would love to be a part of that raid and just look around. You have to slip all over the baby oil, like, but then you're like looking through his stuff, like, what's he got?
Thousands of bottles of baby oil.
What's he got? And that's just for sex, man. Like, it is what it is. But like, that's like, who cares? He's got baby oil. That's what you do when you have monster orgies. You fucking slick everybody down. You do this. They're all rolling their ass off and their eyes are rolling back and you all bang each other. You need a baby oil. It's easier to penetrate, obviously. But I want to see some of these videos. I want to see who else is in there. I want to see who's late hours, maybe squeaky clean person that's been doing crazy stuff with this, that, and the other. Who knows? It's just interesting. Is
it illegal, though, to go to the parties and engage in whatever?
Depends on what they're doing. It's just interesting.
It's kind of like
Sorry, we're just trying to entertain all you guys, man. We love you, man.
Like Neverland.
I'm nice Cam
like
today.
The Neverland.
You know, the parents of the Neverland with Michael Jackson, they're sleeping in the same room. Why would you have that? Why would you let that happen?
They were in the same room as Michael Jackson, sleeping in the same bed as this other
same room
child?
As a children. He was in the same room as a
right,
children.
No, I knew that. I don't know if they knew that when they dropped him off for the weekend, but
I don't know. Parents are weird too, just so you know.
Usually.
Parents are weird too. They're like, he's a celebrity. He must be a good guy. Just always remember what's going on. They're not. Just like politicians. They're just not.
How did this come about with Diddy? Like, who tipped off the FBI?
Who knows? And so, I don't know, man. It's everybody. I don't trust any of them, you know. I don't give any of them a benefit of the doubt. I just don't.
No.
I just don't. That's all I'm saying.
Well, you just don't know how many of these. I bet you there's other celebrities, some you may have even mentioned, who have thrown their own parties, Cam.
I know, but they're not caught. Diddy had too many things going on, man. He was juggling too many things. He had that video come out of him beating the shit out of that girl.
That kind of...
No, but I think that was
leads
afterwards.
to more investigation.
Oh, God, if you're willing to do that, you're willing to literally kick a girl in her
And
fucking
drag her by
head
her
and drag her
hair.
by her hair because she's probably not blowing you anymore. Because she's probably like, I'm so dehydrated because I've been doing
you
this for
don't
3
know
days.
why what was going on.
I'm
There's no
just-
excuse for it, 100%. Obviously,
She's probably
but
like,
I
get
don't
me
know
out of
why.
this hotel
She
room.
was probably trying to like break free.
And they won't let her leave. They're like, no, you stay here with the baby oil until we tell you you're done.
Jeez.
And then she escapes and he kicks the fucking shit out of her. I don't give any of them the
Mhm.
benefit of the doubt. That's all, you know.
No, I wouldn't either. I don't know, man. I feel like it's sad at the same
It's
time.
sad. It's
You know,
but it's a wake up call to
people
all
who-
these guys that take advantage of people.
Who reach such a level of success and wealth and just throw it all away. Dude.
Harvey Weinstein, you have so much power. Diddy has so much power on the rap game. It's unbelievable.
He still has
He
it.
owns-
He still had it today.
He owns not anymore. He owns everybody.
No, I know that. I'm saying as of
No,
6
he's a
months ago.
scumbag now, dude. He's done. It's all over, crumbled upon him, just like that.
like what was he known for?
Oh God, him and Biggie, man, him and Mace. Talk to Mace. Mace is like, that motherfucker. I had to get away from him. I lost money because he'd ripped me off, and I just didn't want to be a part of him
Talk
anymore.
to Mace. Has Mace come out and said some shit
Yeah,
before he was in jail?
I just saw a recent interview with Mace.
So he found Biggie.
Yeah, they collabed. Remember, they collabed in they're East Coast, dude, and they were gigantic. And he just started buying all these different things and Bad Boy record. Then he had that show on MTV where he's literally having these people walk. Dave Chappelle did a funny skit on it where he acted like he was Diddy, and his Diddy's bodyguards would carry him in, and his stuff going on. All those Dave Chappelle, all those good Cat Williams, they all knew all about this. Cat Williams released all this stuff, and everybody thought he was a psycho on Shannon Sharp's podcast. You thought Cat Williams was psycho.
What did
and
he say
everything
a
is
few weeks
coming
ago?
true.
remind me what Cat Williams
Dude,
is. And who's Cat Williams?
Cat Williams is a comedian. He's hilarious. Little
Okay.
guy with that hair. He's
Oh, yeah,
hilarious.
yeah.
Cat Williams, cool as shit.
Yeah.
So he goes on Shay, Shannon Sharp's podcast.
Yeah.
Months before even Diddy the first time was, and he blew all this up. And everybody's like, he's fucking crazy. He's a jealous little crazy.
What was he saying on that?
Dude, it's an hour and a half, 3 hours long. Like, he talks about all this stuff about Diddy, about people are going to catch this, that, the other. You just got to watch it. It's really interesting.
Mhm.
This happened months and months ago before anybody even talked about Diddy.
So Dave Chappelle also.
They all knew. Yeah. You know, there's a lot of guys.
So are you telling me everyone who knew, like they're all fucked? They got
No, no, no.
prosecute everybody?
No. Dave Chappelle knew about how shady Diddy was and
Oh.
never even fucking talked to him.
Wasn't participating in any type of.
No. That's why he hid. He hid from
So
Hollywood
what
because they were trying to
gangster
get him.
rappers were acting all gangster who were like,
Oh,
I mean, however you started off the show so aggressively.
They're acting, all those gangster rappers are so funny, like so gangster, and all of a sudden they're like, ooh. Now people might know that I was hanging with Diddy in some of these parties.
I would have way more rebuttal here if I didn't have flu-like symptoms, but I'm fighting
Why would you
through
rebuttal?
it.
Who are you sticking up
Well,
for?
no rebuttal, but just
Who
like
you
making
sticking up
sure that
for?
you're like,
Mm.
you know.
This is what I've been reading so far. Things change. You know what I mean?
No, he's completely.
What
like,
am I wrong about?
You're not. Well, you're just naming a lot of different people. I don't know.
Who'd I name?
You named several people,
Like who?
like Bieber and all this.
Well, what do you expect?
Pink.
Do you not? Am I wrong on
I don't
naming
know,
them?
dude.
You
There's
ju-
pictures
you
of
just
them.
said that
I
Bieber
don't
was at his
know.
house for 2 days. Why would I not bring him up? I feel bad
I
for him.
just don't know if you can automatically assume what kind of activity.
I could
they're
assume anything I
participating
want
in.
to assume, Andy. I'm assuming. I'm not saying this is fact. This is all assumption. But do I believe their side of the story? Hell
Okay,
nah.
so let me ask you this,
That's
and like your
I think people will
assumption
agree with
is
me on
not
this.
like out of left field. I mean, it's
I know,
you're
like-
just connecting dots.
Yeah, you're acting like I'm Alex Jones,
But-
although he's right on one thing.
Jesus,
He predicted this.
Alex Jones.
Crazy, but,
Do you think the NHL now would not invite Bieber
No, I hope not. That would be horrible. No,
to like
no, they took advantage of him. Screw that, dude. No.
who took advantage of him?
P. Diddy. He's
Oh,
15.
okay, you said
And
that. Yeah. Okay.
P. Diddy took
So-
advantage of Bieber.
So I'm asking, do you think the NHL last year, the All Star
No.
game, this guy's on the bench? Remember?
No, man. No. I feel like Bieber's a victim in this whole thing.
Okay, so that you're not. So my question is, would the NHL still involve him in
Yes, I
certain
said
league?
yes.
But you said no, actually, several times. You didn't let me finish my question. You kept saying no. So you're saying that you would have no problem if they continued to roll out Bieber. And,
no, I have no problem.
Okay.
That's what you were asking me.
Yeah.
I said no, I'd have no
Okay.
problem.
Okay. So,
Jesus. What's wrong with you today?
but you don't know like his involvement or anything. What
No.
if he? I mean, he's not 15 anymore, Cam.
But if he did, then we don't know yet. We'll figure that out.
He's
You know?
how old's Justin Bieber?
I would say Justin
Is
Bieber's.
he 35?
I don't know, 30 maybe.
Maddie, how old's Justin Bieber?
Or Maddie's. Can't I just get through this? Good God. You
I
look him
mean-
up. You have your phone. You're on your phone every
Well,
single
you
day.
get mad if I get.
Well, I
if
can entertain the people now. I know what to do.
So I mean,
He's 33? 30.
30
Okay.
even.
Yeah, he's 30. Okay. God, he was young, man. Like, he's just young. He's still young, you know? I would say of all the people, like, I don't know what he's done at an older age. I'd say he probably was scared to death of Diddy, dude, after that.
who is gonna come out and speak on this? Dude?
A lot of rappers are. 50 Cent's throwing everybody under the bus.
Yeah, but like,
I love it. And who's 50 Cent kidding, too? Like, that guy probably did crazy-ass shit, too, but he stayed away from Diddy,
you never
apparently.
know, man.
He stayed away from Diddy, you know? So.
Yeah. But who did?
Diddy was well
That's my
known about.
question. What gangster rappers are you referring to?
As far as what? Getting banged out?
Yeah.
Well, that Meek Hill.
Meek Mill.
Meek Mill's one of them.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I read that. Right
We'll
off the
see.
bat.
We'll see right now. But there's a lot of rappers that were involved in all that stuff. And Diddy is in control of them.
Don't you think?
How about Usher is another one? And even Justin
wasn't
Bieber.
that Bieber's guy, Usher?
No, but like Bieber wanted to stay away from it, and Usher convinced him to go. So Usher's involved in a lot of weird stuff too. Like it's a lot of weird drama happening around Usher as well. Usher's another one, but he doesn't act hard. He doesn't act like a like
No, he's
I'm
like
you know,
R&B
he's an R&B guy. But you'll see.
Do you think that Diddy knew this day was coming?
Yeah. Well, that's a good question. I would say when you're on top of the world like that and you're a billionaire and everything you could take advantage of a woman and she sues you, you get away with it. Another one, get away with it. I got so much money. I have so many people. I'm a puppet master. I have people in politics and this and that. I control the world. I'm good. You have this weird self-sense of like, there's no one who can take me down until it happens. So maybe not, Andy. Maybe he was just doing so much stuff to where it just crumbled down. Even if there's so many people that are trying to like no, let's protect him because I'm involved.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think there was so much going on because you have this weird, no awareness of what's going on around you, what other people are saying,
Yeah.
and because you're so powerful. So maybe not.
But you know what? And I want to say there's a lot of powerful people in this world who are billionaires and who are good people, dude, who don't do this type of shit. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
And they don't fucking
There's a lot that are not.
throw crazy parties.
And I'm not looking at billionaires either. Like billionaires are. If I'd have more money, if that billionaire didn't have as much money, that's not the case. Like I like billionaires pay for things. Billionaires spend a ton on taxes. Billionaires are your freaking boss that's giving you a job. Like I'm not against billionaires, but when you're shady as shit and you take advantage of people and stuff like, and it pops out, I'm going to chirp you on the podcast. That's all. No big deal.
Mm-hmm.
It's all good. So you feel better?
I don't
You good?
know. It's just
Why
a
am
lot.
I rattling
it's
you
a
or
lot.
something?
No, it's my sickness too.
Okay.
My,
Like, am
my
I
lack
saying
of
crazy
energy.
things or something?
It's just a lot to digest.
I told you I felt bad this morning when I said that I was mean to you. I don't want to be mean to you, man.
No,
like,
it's all good, dude.
I can't.
That was 2 weeks ago.
I'll do anything for Andy.
Maddie's talking.
What's up? Yeah. Well, 20's 20.
But naked parties were a thing too.
Totally.
And Kanye West is now coming out saying some things
Yeah.
about
It's just interesting.
Kim Kardashian, his ex-wife.
I know. It's like Jennifer Lopez is out. It's like, I'm voting for Kamala. Oh, yeah. You dated Diddy for fucking 6
She
years.
did.
I want to listen to you. Tell me how to think. It's funny. It's all good.
That's Diddy's ex.
You dated
Do you think
Diddy.
that's why Ben Affleck said "see you later"?
No, why would you
Cam's
go back?
looking to go work for
Isn't that
like
funny?
Entertainment Tonight or something.
Isn't that funny? I'm going to listen to your
Do you
words.
really
your
re-
words of wisdom.
Do you read all this shit?
Yeah.
You find it that interesting?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
It's interesting to me. You
Mhm.
know, I watch college football. I watch some preseason highlights
Uh-huh.
of stuff. I watch this. I watch the Utah team score on their own net.
Yeah,
First goal.
I know.
Congratulations.
What
The
a
Blues
s-
chirped them
What a savage tweet.
by the Blues.
Oh my God.
I didn't
I
mind
mean,
it.
No, it was great.
I
It's
like it.
hilarious.
Good
and
for
then
you.
a lot of people are putting that out there and like just using what the Blues said. But
That's pretty funny.
it's you
Could
know,
be
the first
funny.
goal in Utah history was an own goal on a delayed penalty.
It's a good sign. It's a good start.
What's a good sign?
Well, they won the game, so it is what it is. But who cares?
It's the second preseason game. Their first preseason game, actually.
yeah.
the
So they
Blues'
won.
second
They won the
preseason
game.
game.
They scored their.
They
who
didn't
cares?
bring a very good lineup.
No.
And St.
No.
Louis didn't necessarily bring a very good lineup either.
So anyway,
I told you last week, preseason, all y'all. It's like even when everybody's celebrating Max Pacioretty, who's played like 1,000 games in the league and scored. How many goals does this guy have in his career? You know?
Yeah,
and
he scored a couple.
And listen, for him to get to Toronto and choose to go there, I mean, I'm sure there is some type of agreement in place, but he also has to show that he can play after missing as much hockey as he's missed and having the Achilles injury and everything else that he's been through. But this guy has been a bona fide, very, very talented NHL player, very successful NHL player for a long, long time. But, it's like the first game of the preseason and like he's scoring goals and they're like, it's like, but again, he should, what I mean? Like that's what he's going to do when he's out there against all these. He's better than everybody else he's on the ice with. He probably does have an agreement and probably will end up signing with Toronto. Why wouldn't they want him?
I know.
I went over the roster last week, which we won't do again.
Why? So I get mad at you about that?
No, you didn't get mad at me.
I would never get. Why would I get mad at you for that?
I think people get sensitive. Listen, a lot of people probably use the Leafs to get a lot of attention and stuff like that. It was never our intention, but so many people give them attention that it just leads to a lot of other people talking about them all the time. It's no different than the Cowboys, the Lakers, the Yankees.
Yeah.
It's like even people that don't care about the Lakers will probably just talk about them because that's all you ever hear about.
You talk about LeBron.
The Lakers. But yeah, I mean, Max Pacioretty, man, I'm pulling for that guy.
So am I. I like him a lot.
And I'm pulling for the Leafs too. I want people to understand that, man, because Chief's my guy. I love Mark Savard. Mike Van Ryn, he's on the coaching staff too. I know all these guys. I hope they all
succeed,
have success.
Of course, man. We're not like.
And I'm a huge dude. This guy Matthews is, potentially, who knows? Maybe he could flirt with 75, 80 goals at some point in his career. The Marner situation is fascinating to me to see how this plays out. You got Nylander in his ear. I wonder what the Chief thinks about all the earrings that are going on.
A lot of earrings going on. Weighing you down.
Hey, if you're not back checking or finishing your check and you're coming back to the bench with the earring on, that could be interesting to see how that plays out. Can I say that?
Yes, you can. Because we know Chief, and it's all good. But does he play with an earring during the game?
I don't know.
I hope not.
A lot of NFL players do.
Which is dumb. And whenever the baseball players have a huge chain on and they decide to run from first to second and their chain's literally hitting them right there.
I love it.
It's the stupidest thing in the world.
I love the chains in baseball.
I think they look cool. I don't mind it. It's just when you're running and you have a 15-pound fucking gold chain and it's literally hitting you in the face, it's slowing you down.
I love
just so you know.
The college football player that takes his helmet off and he's got like a 5-carat diamond earring in his ear and like a big ass chain that he's wearing like underneath his.
I like when the football players get into
shoulder
a
pads.
Punching match and then the one guy takes off his helmet and the other guy headbutts him with his own helmet.
Oh, yeah.
Don't ever take your helmet off.
That's what I would do.
Don't ever take your helmet off as a football player when you're in a scrum like that. Just to be like, I'm tough. No, you're dumb. Because you're going to get a concussion.
Yeah, don't take it off on purpose. Sometimes it just pops off. But hey, anything is game in a situation
I know it
like
pops
that.
off. I'm just saying, like, guys will be like, they take their helmet off, and all of a sudden the other guy goes, bam! So.
But I'm hoping the Leafs have a lot of success. Hey, last week we had Andrew Peters on, and he was obviously very critical of Sabres ownership.
So surprising.
And Buffalo Bills ownership. And the Bills play tonight. Let's hope they have success tonight in Monday Night Football. And Terry Pagula, who's the owner, and he was Andrew Peters, had some things to say about Pagula. He said that he's not even involved in the. They kicked him out of the meetings with the Buffalo Bills, and since they did that, they started having success. Now, talk about billionaires. He's a billionaire. I don't know how many billionaires are getting kicked out of the meetings of a business that they own. Like, it ain't happening very often, right? But I'm not here to dispute what Andrew Peters has said. I will say that the Sabres did reach out and they said some things, man, and they say, hey, this is completely untrue. It's insanity to use the word that they used. And, I said, hey, listen, I would certainly give your side of the story. I don't not believe the Sabres by any means. I just think there are issues to me. I don't know if it's ownership related. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, the owner is always responsible for the success of a business. And at the end of the day, NHL franchises, for the most part, are small businesses, right? I mean, they're not big, massive corporations. Some are, like the Montreal Canadiens and the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Buffalo Sabres are a small market NHL hockey team, and they haven't had a lot of success. So sure, the owner obviously is going to take some some blame for that.
Of course.
But I'm not putting it all on him. They've had a number of different people they brought in. Now they're bringing in Lindy Ruff. He wasn't a cheap hire. They're still paying off their other coach. They're paying him. There is no doubt in my mind that the intention of hiring Lindy Ruff is to get this team into the playoffs and get them on the winning track and to win. And so, listen, I appreciate what the Sabres are saying. I mean, and I don't disagree with what they're saying. You know, I don't think it's fair just to pin it on Terry Pegula. But at the end of the day, that's just kind of the way it goes sometimes in professional sports when the owner or when a team is just struggling for as long as the Buffalo Sabres have. And it's not a situation where the Sabres just missed the playoffs once or twice here. We're talking 12 years in a row. So it's a fragile time internally probably with the Sabres. And I hope they have a great season, and I hope they go out and get it done on the ice and get back into the playoffs, baby.
Yeah. So, I mean, so was Andrew Peters lying? Or maybe he got information that wasn't correct. I don't know.
Well, they're saying
I trust Andrew Peters too.
Right, but they're saying the information that he is passing along on our podcast is inaccurate.
Disinformation.
So we don't know, right?
We don't know.
And so I believe the Sabres that, you know, that they didn't kick. I will say I think it's a little crazy to say that Terry Pegula, the guy working for him, you're a billionaire, and they're going to say, you can't come in this meeting. They kicked him out of the meeting.
I wouldn't leave.
No, I find it hard to believe that would happen.
I agree with that. But that's what he said. And so we clipped it off and we showed it.
We did.
We didn't say it.
No.
We don't know.
No.
You know, I don't know. I don't know. Listen, that's petty. They got other issues they got to deal with. I know. You know,
they weren't disrespectful.
No, and I don't blame them for getting.
I don't blame them for reaching out to me too.
Reach out to us.
I liked it too.
I reach out to all of it. Like we're not in the scene. We hear different things. This is how podcasts work. This is how radio works. You know, it happens all the time. So reach out if you think somebody's saying something that you don't agree with because you know the facts, and tell us.
Yeah.
No big deal, and we'll bring it up just like you did.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I'm sure when Bobby Clark came on board and said that they didn't want to draft Nolan Patrick or whatever he said.
I mean,
he wanted McCarr.
Well, yeah.
I'm sure some people with Philly weren't happy about that either. Listen, that's just what happens.
I'll tell you what, I like Philly.
So do
I'm rooting for them too.
You like Torts training camp?
Oh, man. That's hardcore. And I think Carlo posted something like, I don't miss this. And I'm like, yeah, I don't miss it either. But then I'm like, I do.
Mm-hmm.
I like getting bagged like that as a team. Then you're in the locker room, you're all soaked. Like, okay, let's go have a good meal. Let's talk about it. Let's do our thing. We're in the best shape of our life. You know you're guaranteed in goddamn good cardio shape. It just makes you feel good. Your endorphins are going. At the time, it's miserable. But once you're done, you feel great. It's just like any workout. So, yeah, I do miss it now.
Can I say that John Tortorella, as much as negativity that he has probably taken over the course of his career, and people finding his style as being brash or insensitive or too much for the modern day player, like they can't handle it. I can't tell you how many people that we've had on this podcast, Cam, that you obviously know, and people who have told me privately what a great person he is.
Nothing but good things about him.
And it does not surprise me at all that John Tortorella has Guy Gaudreau, Johnny and Matthew's dad, on the ice with the Flyers at training camp.
I know. I'm glad you brought that up.
That is something that John Tortorella would 100% do. I'm trying to remember, and I should know this off the top of my head, if Gaudreau was there when Tortorella was in Columbus. I got to double check to see if that would have carried over or not. He may have been an ESPN that season, but obviously, everybody tends to know everybody in this business, and they probably would have crossed paths at some point. And even if they didn't, Gaudreau is in the area. Guy Gaudreau is in the area of Philadelphia, and to invite him out, man. These are the things that's going to help the Gaudreau family get through this.
Yeah,
is being on the ice, being in the mix, being around it, because
being around the hockey community.
This is going to be the hardest thing for the Gaudreau family, and including the widows, man, of Matthew and John, because we've seen some of them make statements on Instagram. Like, this is when it gets really hard, when training camp is happening and preseason games are taking place and everyone's talking about the NHL again. Now we're going to get to the regular season. And, maybe that's when some of the shock wears off and you realize, hey, this is reality. This is where we're at. And I can't imagine what they're going through and how they're going to be able to digest a lot of that. So for the Flyers organization, and I feel confident thinking that it was spearheaded by John Tortorella, because that's the type of person he is. For them to bring Guy Gaudreau out on the ice, he's in a full tracksuit, wearing skates, getting pucks out of the net and doing all that. Good on you, Philadelphia. That's a hell of a move, man. I love seeing that.
And if you want to see, if you want to really know how people, what they think of John Tortorella, listen to our podcast. Yeah. Listen to the guys that played for him. I didn't hear anything bad. I know he was hardcore, but I don't remember anybody saying, no, I didn't know where I stood. He did this to me. Now, with Mike Babcock, completely different story. Maybe some other coaches here and there, but with Torts, you would think you would have a lot more negativity coming from other former players that have played with him. And I just don't feel like we've seen or heard any of that within our 309 podcasts we've done. We've had tons of people that cross paths with John Tortorella, and they've all said positive things. That's all.
Yeah.
No, so I'm glad you brought that up, though.
Yeah, no, 100%. I put something out last week about the potential more expansion coming.
Yep.
And listen, we've heard some things. I know Kevin Weeks has tweeted some stuff out as well. And we'll see where this goes. And if in fact that the NHL owners at the next Board of Governors meetings approve expansion, there's some talk that they could. I think the league is saying at this point that hasn't fully been decided on. Others are telling me that it will be brought up at the next Board of Governors meeting, and the approval for expansion will take place in relatively soon fashion. If it doesn't happen in this meeting, then I would guess it could happen in the following meeting, or they meet a couple times a year. So we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. But apparently, it looks like Houston and Atlanta are the front runners as it sits right now for expansion. What do you think of Houston and Atlanta getting NHL teams? Now, that doesn't mean that the NHL isn't going to end up back in Arizona, because I think they will. A lot of people believe that the NHL is going to get to 36 teams, Cam, not just 34, but get to 36. Yep. And you've got these big major television markets. And, listen, television markets here in the States does not automatically mean revenue in the National Hockey League, right? I mean, it certainly helps. But you want to have teams in the biggest markets here in the States. I don't think they're going back to Canada anytime soon.
But do you trust the game? I do. Do I trust the game if they're going to take it to Houston? Mm-hmm. Now, Atlanta, I have other questions about. We've done that before. Huge market. I get all that.
Yeah. Different area of town, different ownership.
So good.
This time.
Didn't figure it out. Yeah. You've known, let's do it right this time. Yeah. But Houston, it's a monster market. It's top whatever in the United States. Try it out. You're damn right. The money, that's the billionaires that are down there, the oil money to all kinds of different things. Yes. Mm-hmm. Do you trust your game? Is the NHL at the right spot right now to be able to turn heads in a market that has other things too? A lot going on down there. Mm-hmm. Will you be able to sell this game? I think you're damn right you will.
The only thing, it's just Vegas has had so much success right off the bat, and Seattle has been, I think it's been good so far, right?
I agree. Yeah, big time. Beautiful place.
So can you automatically assume that whoever gets the next round of expansion teams, that it's going to work the same way? We'll see how Utah plays out. But, the NHL is popular right now. And I will say this because people sometimes get concerned that it's going to water down the product. But at the same time, since Vegas and Seattle has come in to the NHL, we've seen goals go up. We've seen superstar players score close to 70 goals. We've seen guys get 100 assists. We've seen guys get close to 150 points. Like the game, to me, is as exciting as it's ever been.
I agree.
I was reading something about Rick Nash, who just got, we'll give him a shout out.
Boy, what's up, Ricky
Director
boy? What's up?
Of hockey operations. Although
we love you.
It was written in an article that I read online by a very well-known sports network, probably the most popular sports network out there, and that he was president of hockey operations. I mean, there's the words in a title mean something, because if he's president of hockey operations, that means he just essentially replaced John Davidson, who's no longer president of hockey ops. He's now an advisor, so we understand that. But he would basically be Don Waddell's boss if he's president of hockey operations. So there is a difference between president of hockey ops versus director of hockey ops. So I think it's director of hockey operations, but it's only a matter of time before Rick Nash is running that franchise on the hockey side. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So big shout out there for
Ricky boy, what up? We love you, man.
for
Damn right.
for Rick Nash.
Played against Simpsons, freaking AAA.
He used to own you.
And he played for the Toronto Marlies.
Did he?
Yeah. And then London.
Did you know the name back then?
Oh, yeah. He was dominant, dude. Of course. You walk in and
Like
Don Morehouse is like, this guy's unbelievable. This guy's unbelievable. This guy's unbelievable. We're going to team you guys up with him. And then they just.
I guess at an older age, you start to.
Oh, yeah, dude. You would know. We knew guys that are dominant since I first started AAA.
Yeah.
The guys would dominate CompuWare to Bell Tire to Honey Bacon, all that
So
stuff.
anyway, with the addition of Vegas and Seattle, the game has never been better. I think the owners would love to have expansion because it's putting more money in their pockets.
And giving more people a chance to make in the NHL.
And let me say this, Cam.
Mm-hmm.
If you watch NHL hockey right now, even in the preseason, or if you go to training camps, if you live in a hockey market, just go to a training camp practice.
Yoink.
We can both do that sometimes.
Go on. Go on now.
Go to a practice.
Go on there.
And watch. And you know what? There are so many damn good hockey players in the world right now. And there's only so many spots in the NHL. But these kids are so good nowadays, Cam. I mean, I get the idea that maybe it would water it down a little bit because there's more jobs available. I would think the PA would love it because of that. And more players are going to get the opportunity to play in the National Hockey League. But I just feel like these kids who don't make it nowadays, who play in the American League, are so damn good anyway.
Yeah.
You can watch a practice and be like, wow, how is that guy not playing in the NHL? Then you kind of get into a game. You can see a little bit of a difference, obviously, with maybe why they're not in the league. But these guys are good players, man. There's a lot of
good players. A lot of people, a lot of kids playing hockey, man. A lot of kids playing hockey in the Midwest, even down in Dallas now. You got Arizona. I mean, you got like Florida. So there's going to be more and more and more of this new crop of young players from all these other places that are getting a lot of attention with their current team going on.
And what I said in my tweet, that it appears that Houston and Atlanta are the leading candidates.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean somebody else won't come along
like
and
who?
pass them. Well, like Arizona, you know.
Besides them, who else? No Canadian team?
I don't think so right now.
Where would you go? Quebec? It's not big.
Well, people have always talked about a second team in Toronto and all that.
Yeah,
stuff.
Hamilton area maybe.
Yeah.
You know,
but
that could probably work. But I don't know. I don't know.
Where else would you like to see a team in the United
Bahamas.
States?
No, I would say.
I'll tell you this. You know, a market that's been starving for an NHL team that's always wanted one, and I just don't get the sense that the NHL truly believes
Little
in them.
Rock?
No. I don't get the sense the NHL truly believes in them. Otherwise, maybe there'd be more momentum towards it.
What do you got?
And I feel like Pittsburgh kind of used them before in an effort to get what they wanted, which was the new building, and obviously they're pretty stable now. You go from Mario to Crosby. They should never be out of money.
Mario and Yager to Crosby and Malkin. Get on with yourself.
You should never be out of money ever again,
No
Pittsburgh.
doubt.
That should just last you forever. But Kansas City is a market that's been screaming for an NHL team. They've got an incredible building.
Screaming.
They want an NHL team. Well, they want an NHL team very badly. Do you know the Hunt family that owns the Kansas City Chiefs?
Oh, yeah.
What do you know about them? You're giving me that look like.
What do you think it is?
I hope it's not some parties or anything like that. I don't know where you're going with this.
I'm not gonna say. It's all good. They're cool.
Really? His daughter's beautiful. Is that what you were going to say?
What do you think?
The family?
What do you think? Beautiful family.
Beautiful family.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Family.
Beautiful.
You said it. I didn't say anything. You said it.
Yeah.
You brought the daughter up. I didn't.
Yeah.
Beautiful family. Anyway.
Well, there's another Hunt.
Mike?
Didn't he used to play in the NHL? Mike Hunt. Didn't he play in the NHL?
I think so.
I think so.
There's a lot of Mike Hunts out there.
So, anyway, the Hunt family owns like a minor league hockey team. They own a building like in Independence, Missouri. And like a minor league hockey team and stuff like that.
Never heard of it.
The Mavericks. Missouri Mavericks.
Okay, maybe I have.
East Coast.
Maybe I have. My bad on that.
Yes.
Didn't mean to sound like a dick. I remember. I know who that is now.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they've got the cash.
They got money.
The Chiefs are doing okay right now.
They're doing okay. They are doing okay.
Could you imagine owning that team?
Jeez Louise. It's like a soap opera football team. You got the best player in all the sports besides Shohei Ohtani and Patrick Mahomes. Like, my God.
You think Shohei is the greatest baseball player in baseball history?
I would say he's the most dynamic, but he hasn't beaten Barry Bonds on the plate yet. Barry Bonds is, in my opinion, that motherfucker was unbelievable. I watch his fucking dingers for 30 minutes straight. But Shohei's the best athlete, the best baseball athlete. He's 10 times better than Babe Ruth ever was. He does everything. That guy's unbelievable. And he's cool as hell. And he went through shit with this fucking dipshit buddy who stole all his goddamn money. Everybody thought he had a gambling problem. He thought he was going to be stressed out all year. Just signed this $600 million ticket. Then he goes out there and he kicks ass in L.A. and he takes names. Doesn't say anything stupid. Oh, he doesn't speak English. But he looks the part. He runs the part. He's athletic. He's fucking cool as shit. Shohei Ohtani. What's up, baby? Can I give another shout out real quick?
Yeah, please.
Can I give a shout out?
Please do.
To my boy, AJ Goddamn Galante. What's up, homeboy?
Oh, from the Trashers?
Yeah.
It's my dog. What's up?
Well, you didn't see? Do you not follow him?
What happened?
You don't follow him?
No, I do follow him.
This guy has another team going on now.
Get out of town.
I believe so. In the East Coast, bought a team.
Did
Look
he
that
really?
mug up right quick. Yeah, AJ Gosh
AJ
dang.
Galante.
Galante, my boy. What's up, homie? God dang.
Galante.
I might have to come goddamn play for you. Man. Yeah, AJ. He bought a team.
Could you get yourself in shape to go do it?
I
don't need you fighting right now.
No, I don't need to. It would be really good motivation
It would?
to not embarrass
For
myself.
a couple $100.
No, just to like skate with guys and try to keep up. I'd be so motivated to where I would want to slim down and become way more healthy
Right.
and stuff like that. Let me look his ass up right quick. What team is it? I got to give him the due diligence here. Galante. Okay, why don't you talk to the camera? Why don't you talk to the camera?
I like the
Tell
Trashers.
tell people what's on your mind. Something completely different.
I'm just trying to get through this
That's-
because of my illness that I'm dealing with today.
Come on, man. All right,
Can I give a shout out to my
yeah. Give a shout
wife
out.
and her family right now, and my family,
Give a little shout out
because
Oh,
we
boy.
lost a great person 2 nights ago, Saturday into Sunday. So Sunday morning, 5 a.m. I just want to give a shout out to Uncle Bob. Uncle Bob was he loved the blues, but he just loved everybody. One of the kindest people you'll ever meet. My kids loved him, and Cam, like, he had been sick. And I want to get your take on this because we lost a game over the weekend. And, and Ty didn't have a great weekend, man. He's under the weather. Like I said, he had 102 temperature yesterday, fever, all that stuff. And when he got off the ice, he knew my wife, when we drove to the game, he knew that she was at the hospital with the family. So he went right up to her. And he's kind of like this, man. Like, things like this really get to him when you have a family member get sick or something like that. And he goes up to her, and, I went straight to the dressing room, and I see him come walking back late. I didn't know what he was doing. And he's in the locker room, and he's just, like, super emotional and, like, losing it. And the coach is, like, talking, our head coach, like, about the game and whatever. And he finishes talking. He goes up to Ty, and he's like, "What's wrong?" And he's like, "My mom's uncle is about to pass away," or something like that.
You know why? Because he was good to him.
Yeah.
He was good to Ty at a young age.
Yeah.
I know all my uncles, and maybe I didn't even see that much, but they were good to me, and it always made a mark. That's why, like, when you're around kids, man, like, always be funny and fun with them. Anytime I go to my buddy's house, I'm always like, let's go. They'll always remember that, dude.
Yeah.
That's healthy. I like that. Because when I was that age and something happened, like, I'd fucking cry too. That's
Mhm.
good, man.
Yeah.
That's good. And that just means that he was good to him.
Mm-hmm.
So always remember that.
Yeah.
All you uncles out there and stuff like that, I got to do it right now. I don't have kids, man. So my little nieces, I want to take them everywhere.
Yeah.
I want them to always remember
Yeah.
me and, like,
Well, this is
You
kind of
know?
rocked the family. It's like one of the
Yeah.
first aunt or uncle to pass away, and very, very tight knit
Yeah.
family, on that side of the family. So, so it's emotional even for
how old?
I want to say 77.
Okay, so
somewhere
not
in
that old.
range.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. My dad's 70, so I always like comparing my
Yeah.
You know, that's not bad.
Somewhere-
It's not a bad life, dude. 77, you did
No,
good.
had a long career.
You did
with
dang good.
Anheuser-Busch, man.
You did dang good.
And he had a great life, man. But
So-
you know, so he left behind great memories. But Ty got really emotional about it,
Good.
you know.
That's
And
healthy.
I think he gets upset when he sees my wife upset too. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
So-
He loves your mom, of course. Loves his mommy.
Okay.
So he's Danbury Hat Tricks,
Okay.
I believe. Yeah.
The hat tricks.
So I guess that's in the same league as that. But anyway,
What would you?
he posted that mug, and I was like, hell yeah, dude, let's go, man. Good for him, man. I like him a lot. He's a good dude.
What would you call the? Congratulations, AJ. Keep us posted, man.
Yeah,
We'll hang-
let us know.
we'll
We'll
hang a
fucking
hat-trick
send us
jersey.
some shit, dude. What do you want us to do? Like, we'll talk about whatever, homeboy.
I might have to put
Goddamn
up my
right.
Trashers jersey.
I know. I got mine in my house too.
I might have to put it up there.
Yeah,
It's a great logo.
totally cool.
Why don't you just call them the Trashers? Can't you do that?
I don't know, because now it's. I
Isn't
don't know.
that a great name when you find out like his dad owned
Well,
a
yeah.
trash can company
Yeah.
or trash
Yeah.
company?
Yeah. That's awesome.
Trashers.
That's right on my alley right there, baby. Jersey, boy. What's up?
You should have
Damn
gone
right.
and played for him.
I was playing
During
in
the
Albany.
lockout.
Dude, I was playing in professional Albany.
That's professional.
Yeah, but like Lou, I was under contract with the Devils.
Yeah, no, I know.
Couldn't do it.
No.
And I wasn't a pro yet, I
What do you
guess.
think Utah should be called? I don't listen.
The motherfuckers. I
now
said
that
the
now that the
Yeti.
games are going on, like
The Yeti.
I'm not into like this the jersey with like this says Utah.
It's got awful. Who cares? I'm not making fun of it. I told you this.
Yeah,
We're
I
not
know.
chirping
no,
this
we're-
year.
We can't do that,
Dude, they did what
They've
they had to
been through
do.
it. They've been through enough.
They've been through enough. Now the fucking owner's like, no, you're coming here, and we're gonna make you right. I'm giving them the due diligence.
Yeah.
I give them the benefit of the doubt, not you know who.
Mhm.
I'm giving them. So don't chirp their jerseys yet. They're figuring all it out. But be the Yeti. Have a shit kicking Sasquatch on that mug. That's fucking badass. And now you have a badass. You could pay him fucking couple $100,000. Some Sasquatch.
Are there any other Yetis floating around in
No.
sports?
Who cares? You're the Yeti now. And have that guy fucking a big Sasquatch all around the kids and stuff like that at the games. Put on a goddamn show. Your team might not be good. They will be eventually. But spend the money, market it right, send these motherfuckers everywhere in Salt Lake City. Everywhere I'm talking. Clayton Keller, show his handsome ass off to everybody and make the entertainment right. And then people will get into it. They'll get into it.
What is
I'm
it,
rooting for
what
all
does
you
it
guys.
mean to be a Yeti? Like if you're in a locker room and you're like, hey, you are a Blackhawk, you're a Blue, you're a Red
You've
Wing.
been around for thousands of years. No one knows you're out there, but yet you're fucking doing your thing, baby. You're a shit kicker. Everybody thinks about you, but they haven't seen you yet. But they know the lore, and you're fucking 10 foot, and you can kill whatever you want. But maybe you don't, because maybe you're nice sometimes.
10 foot?
10 foot, shit kicking.
You
Yetis are badass.
You see that 6'9" defenseman
What?
who's skating
You
around?
calling him a Yeti?
Or 6'11".
Oh, Jesus.
I know.
Where was that at? I did see that.
He's like,
Where is that?
he's playing somewhere.
Yeah, I
And
saw him
like,
skating.
on like a
No,
real team.
I know. I saw a video of that. They're like, check this
It
mug
looked
out.
like a
He's 6'8".
5-year-old that he's battling with the puck with because the guy he's probably like 6 foot.
Well, people were
And he
chirping.
looks so small
People-
compared to him.
People chirped Chara off the bat when he got in the league. Just remember that.
Oh.
They chirped Chara. Chara was in juniors. He's Bambi here and there. Then he knocked.
Hey, the Islanders traded him.
Then he knocked a couple guys out in juniors.
Mm.
Knocked guys out, and they're like, "What is this?" And he kept working. He kept working. He kept working. And he's the most powerful man in all of hockey for decades. Just remember that.
He's running marathons.
He's running mountains now. Every time I see him, I'm like,
He's
"Ah."
biking hundreds of miles.
I look at Chara on social media, and I'm like, "Ah, I hate myself."
Why? Because
I'm
he's in
s-
such great shape.
So I'm like sitting there watching college football, drinking beer, like, Kate's making me food, like, and then he's literally running fucking all the way up to K2
Yeah.
in the mountains.
And then swimming and then biking
Ay, ay, ay.
200 miles.
And then I saw that guy die in that CrossFit thing. Jesus.
What?
Yes, dude. They did that CrossFit.
I did not see that.
No, he drowned. He drowned the last 100 yards in the water. They did the water last.
That's
at
a
this,
long way to swim.
they did a water last at CrossFit, this CrossFit thing. And this one guy couldn't make it and he drowned and no one jumped in and
I've
saved
seen
him.
that before.
Yeah, that
It
was months
wasn't-
ago.
Yeah.
It was months ago. So
Okay.
it's
I
all
thought
good.
maybe this weekend.
Jesus, you always.
Well, I saw that.
He denounces me, just so you know.
And there's video, and he just like disappeared underwater.
yeah.
How can you not have like boats with
I don't
paramedics
know.
there?
Andy, CrossFit. That's why I never got on.
I don't do CrossFit.
Be a professional workout person. Listen, and plus people get hurt in CrossFit all the time
Mhm.
too. They're like, I can do this. And their shoulders rip out.
Oh,
You know, there's some good stuff, but I never got into it. You know, But if you are and you're jacked and you feel good, then do it, man. Do it. Because I know I'm going to get feedback on that. Like, Cam, no, I get you, man. All good. Just don't swim 20 fucking miles at the end of a goddamn journey like that. Like, that's brutal. Have the swimming first.
Yeah.
He's 100 feet away from the
100 yards. That's a long ass swim.
No. It was way longer than that.
Oh,
He was the last 100 yards to go, 100 feet to go.
it was
drowned.
was it like in a river or something, or
Big
a
lake or
something?
Yeah.
Do you know that they were like swimming in the Seine River in the Olympics?
Yeah, I know.
No one's like ever swam in there before.
Yeah, they have, Andy.
Well, they had to do a bunch of tests
They've
and
done that.
clean it out and stuff like
It's
that.
hard to clean that mug.
That was a dirty ass river.
Well, of course it is.
I'd like to hear about any health repercussions. Anybody? Hey, any of y'all who
They all
listening
got
right
sick.
now? Anybody got sick from?
They did.
Did they?
Yeah, but they're like, it wasn't from the river. Oh, sure. And so, like, I told you, I go down to Lake of the Ozarks, which is like a big lake in middle of Missouri. It's very populated. I jump in at my cousin's fucking dock. I got a goddamn earache for fucking 2 days.
Dude, I feel like I swim in the Seine River.
For as healthy as you are, why are you sick so much?
Allergies, dude. It's allergies.
Why are you sick so much? I have my allergies too, but you always come in here like,
mine are very severe.
Help me. I'm like, well, what the fuck, man?
I have flu-like
like,
symptoms,
you don't eat
but
meat,
it's
you don't do this,
allergies.
you don't do that. You watch it's a pain in the ass to go anywhere because you got to have the right food, and now you're sick all the goddamn time.
Oh.
Maybe you need to change some shit up, you know?
I never get sick, though.
You are sick every other day. Maddie, he's sick all the goddamn time.
Maddie's blaming me for the sickness that
Maddie's
went around
fucking
this
sick
office.
because of you. You know?
Maddie was
Poor Maddie.
sick for like 5
God.
weeks.
Because of you.
No
It's
way.
no shit it is. So kids all goddamn day. God dang. You're the one.
But my kids always get sick this time of year. I hate that.
Every kid does. You're not alone on an island. Every kid does. Dang.
Epstein Island.
Oh, gee. What? We're not going to talk about that anymore. We're not going to talk about Epstein
Was
anymore.
that worse?
We're not going to talk about that
Was
anymore.
that worse than Diddy?
Yeah.
What do they
I don't
call
know
them?
enough.
What
I
do
don't
they
know.
call the parties? The freak out parties? No, what were they? The freak parties? What was it?
Freak parties.
No.
Freak out.
Oh my
telling
God,
you.
these guys, man.
And you see what you see and you still stay there. No, I'll give him benefit of the doubt. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So his lawyer.
He said Leonardo DiCaprio was his favorite guest.
Oh my God.
Leo gives an hour-long speech. He breaks up with his girlfriend because she's too old. Yeah, he was there. Climate. Took his private jet. Don't you? He worries about climate, but he's taking his jet there. I'll tell you that right now. Leo's my favorite guest. That sucks.
That sucks for
sucks.
Leo.
That's Leo's like, motherfucker.
My favorite. You know who else throws crazy parties? You know, you can't, because the guy who owns Fanatics has that white party on 4th of July.
Yeah. I don't think they're doing what Diddy's doing at the end.
I don't think so either.
I think that's
But
like,
you're
this
gonna
is a fame.
You're going to associate every famous party with, because you did that in the first segment.
What'd I do?
You kind of associate anybody who went there as just like participating in this type of.
I didn't say that. I said, I don't give you the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, well.
I don't.
I bet you, I wonder.
Do you? Andy would. He was good in that one movie. He didn't do that. Yeah.
I've studied interviewers, Cam. Some people study like other things. I've studied interviewers. Who do you think is the best interviewer you've ever seen?
Joe Rogan?
Really?
As of right now,
That's
yeah.
fine.
Definitely.
Ever?
Yeah. No.
Did you like Larry King?
Sure.
He was a good interviewer.
Yeah. Larry King
Did
with
you
15
see
different wives.
The interview.
Howard Stern's a good interview, although he's dead to me.
Okay, so I've been reading about that ever since you
Dead
said
to
that.
me. He's a pussy.
Oh, God.
But God, was he funnier than shit back in the day. Whoo, doggy. So funny, man. God, was he
I think
witty
he
and brilliant.
takes,
Man.
he takes exception with what you're saying, you and a number of other people.
He's sitting in his Hampton house, miserable, with his 2 masks on in his basement, just yelling at everybody. He's miserable.
Is he
He's
yelling at everyone?
He's a miserable person. A miserable person. God, was he goddamn hilarious, though. Fuck, was he great.
Was Oprah a good interviewer?
Sure.
What about-
Interviews are dumb to me.
What
for
about
the most
Johnny
part.
Carson?
Yeah. Goddamn right. Johnny Carson.
David Letterman.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Jay was good. Conan. You know, they're all good interviewers.
Those are
you know.
entertainers, though.
I'm talking about a deep down, sit down,
Yeah.
and let's dig into thing kind of guy.
Yeah, I
Not
know.
just like, hey, we scripted this thing and we have
Right.
5-minute intervals.
And you're promoting your movie.
You're promoting your movie.
book.
You're funny. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fake laugh at you.
Yeah, you can't put them in there.
There's a bunch.
Okay, so like Barbara Walters, Diane Sawyer.
I know.
All the 60
You're
Minutes
thinking of
people.
old school guys. I got a lot of guys on YouTube that I like that interview people like Elon and whatnot. And they
Does Elon interview people?
No, he gets interviewed. He
gets
does
interviewed.
interview some people. Yeah,
Yeah.
Elon talks to everybody. He talked to the president of I believe Argentina the other day.
Wow.
It was really cool. He's a cool guy too. He turned that fucking
Is he
place
throwing
around.
parties?
Not Argentina.
Is he throwing?
Not
Okay,
Argentina.
Because you're getting fact checked right now.
No, Venezuela. My bad.
Oh
Venezuela.
God.
Yeah. So
Is that
it's
guy
interesting.
trying to fight all the
his crime
gang activity
his
and
crime
stuff,
went-
or is he?
His crime went down. He put everybody in jail. Put all these criminals in jail.
Venezuela did.
Venezuela.
Weren't baseball players like moms and stuff getting kidnapped and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean it's crazy down there, Andy. I mean it totally is. But just that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? And you know, there's a lot of good interviewers out there. I just don't like the fluffy shit, you know, the fluffy stuff. Like I saw the dress you had on the other day. No, she did something crazy.
I
Talk
know.
about that.
Yeah,
Like, what are we doing? You know.
Do you think Oprah's a good interviewer?
Andy, you asked me 50
You
times.
haven't answered that
Don't give
one.
a shit about
You
Oprah. She
haven't-
does nothing for me. I respect her success.
Yeah.
As a black woman, she is a billionaire. I think one of the first billionaires probably ever when it comes to African American.
Maybe, yeah.
She's been doing it for a long time. Is she caught up with? I don't know. I'm just throwing her. I'm just being funny with it. But Andy asked me 15 times about Oprah. I don't really give a fuck.
Dude.
I don't listen to. She's interviewing like Meghan Markle. I don't care about it. Right? Like it's fake.
She
to me,
interviewed.
you know.
She interviewed Kamala.
Oh yeah, how'd that go? Good. They break everything down.
No, she actually was looking at Kamala like, what is
I
going
know.
on right
Of
now?
course.
You know. And I'm not.
Of course not, Andy.
Suggest-
Andy's not. He's not down the middle. Like,
suggesting
come on.
one way or another.
He's
You
got
know.
to keep it tight here. You know, Lord.
Well, there's a lot of people who listen who are Democrats and Republicans, so we have to respect everybody. Cam.
I hate both.
Me too.
I just do. They're both shady. This sucks.
Now Cam hates both because I hate both. Now he hates both.
Yeah. The chameleon over here.
All right, let's get to Paul Maurice.
Yeah. Well, we haven't done it yet.
No, we haven't. So you got to understand, we haven't done.
We would
it.
break it down for you, but he's coming up at 1:30.
No. Well, yeah, after we do this.
After we do this.
and then
Then we'll put
on the
it.
same day.
Yeah.
Which
Sometimes
we
it happens.
rarely do that.
Yeah.
And we have other interviews in the can that we could probably go with, but we want
The big
to.
boy.
And big fan of Paul Maurice, man.
Yeah. Excited.
Talk some bear hunting with him.
Yeah. Yep.
Be seeing a lot of like one-on-one battles going on with different animals. I'm always curious who's going to win this battle.
Name me who you think, and I'll tell
Lion
you.
versus crocodile or alligator or whatever.
How big's a croc? An alligator. How big?
Full size.
What's a full size? 15-footer? And the croc's going to win.
Really?
Yes, because a croc has such hard. The lion's not strong enough to pick up a big croc and drag it around and kill it. Have to get under him somehow, and that croc's force with the jaws will break the leg of a lion and drag him underwater. So a big crocodile will beat a lion.
Do you want to know
Ask me some more.
one of the toughest? Well, I saw a one-on-one versus an anaconda versus a hyena.
Hyenas are tougher than dog shit. Hyenas are tough. Their jaw bite is unbelievably strong, and they can't go in packs like wolves, and they're scary, and they're nasty, and they'll get you.
I think the anaconda won.
It depends if the anaconda's 40 foot or not.
Yeah, dude, it like wrapped around him.
Yeah.
Once he wraps around his neck, you're done, right?
An anaconda will kill a lot of things, big time.
I think an anaconda might be like a
It'd
lot.
swallow you whole. An anaconda, a big
Really?
one would. Yeah. They say they find in Brazil, the deep part of the Amazon, that there's anacondas that are 30 foot long, huge. Some more, I think it was in World War II. I told this story before where he's flying over the middle of Congo and he's like really low and he takes a video or a picture of this 50-foot anaconda trying to snipe and take down the helicopter. Could be fake. I don't know. You never know. They don't really have anacondas in the middle of the Congo, so that was really unique. But we don't know a lot of things about what went on in the past. We're just scraping the surface, man. Big time. With all kinds of different things. And I'm curious about all of it. So
I realize that black bears in reality aren't as tough.
Oh, one scrape will kill you. Just so you know,
Ugh.
they're not going to go after you like you think.
Mhm.
But one scrape, I see video of this stuff all the time, man, where a guy will come out and all of a sudden there's a black bear in the garage. And also once it freaks out and it scrapes you,
You're done.
it will grab an artery in that little neck of yours, dude, and you'll bleed out in 2
Oh
seconds.
my God. Dude.
Yeah, so
you
always
have to
remember that.
take it there?
Well, yeah, we're being.
That's way too aggressive.
No,
especially-
cuddle with it then. Fine. It's Pooh Bear. Cuddle with it. Go get honey and do your thing. Get out of here.
I mean, I've got flu-like
Jesus
symptoms
Christ,
today.
what am I doing?
I've got flu-like symptoms today, and you just have to just take it.
No, man, I'm a realist. That's what happens, dude. I wouldn't fuck with a black bear. God, no. One swipe, cut your whole fucking nutsack right off.
Oh my
Now you're
God.
fucked. Yes. Don't mess with those. You want to scare it if it's away, but get the fuck away
I feel
from
like
it.
we need
God damn.
you need to add a disclaimer about something you said at the first 10 minutes of the show.
About the
today.
rappers getting fucked?
Maybe.
No,
Just,
I don't know about that.
like anybody that you see on social media with a picture of Diddy does not automatically
Didn't say that.
assume.
There's some, though, that got taken advantage of. And they went out and they made a record about being hardcore. Yo, I'm hardcore. You got done fucked.
Hey, do you
by
want to know
Diddy.
who a big supporter of Meek Mill was?
Who?
The owner, Robert Kraft,
Of no.
the Patriots.
And I think the Pittsburgh Penguins owner had something to do with something.
He's a
too.
Philly guy.
Something to do with something too, with when it comes to buying out something.
So when he was
for-
in jail or prison or whatever he was, hardcore situation that he had to.
What do you do?
I don't know.
What do you hold up somebody?
I don't know.
Rob somebody? What do you do?
Don't know. What do you do if you get carjacked in that situation, Cam? Do you just
I
hand?
told you this
Do
before.
you hand over the money?
What do you think you should do?
Because I read about a story last night
What do you think you should do?
in St. Louis where there was a
Oh.
carjacking.
A one. There's 15 of them in St. Louis. You don't do anything, man. You give them your shit. You take the fucking car and you figure it out.
You have him take the car.
They'll shoot you so fast.
You
And
know
not
a
even
buddy of
care.
mine,
You're asking me. I'm telling you.
Okay, we'll go.
You're asking me.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
okay.
See, this is what Andy does. He'll ask a question. He'll answer it himself. You don't know
Hey,
shit.
Go ahead.
You give him everything.
That's not. That's mean.
When it comes to
mean,
this,
Cam. Yeah.
If you're in your car with your family,
Yeah. Oh, with the family. Oh
and
my
somebody
God.
comes up and fucking robs you, you give them everything, and you take your kids
including
out,
the car.
and you put the kids over there, and you say, "Take everything, take the car, take everything." What are you going to do, Andy? You going to negotiate with them? You going to tell them you're part of Bally's, and they'll give them a shout out in the pregame? You out of your goddamn mind? You know.
Give him a shot. I'll get him a signed stick.
Give him a sign stick from Robert Thomas. I'll take care of it. He's a big fan. Jesus Christ.
Dude, I feel bad for anybody who's ever been in that
It's
situation.
horrible. It's horrible.
I don't know if I'd ever be able to. Like, I didn't sleep well the last couple nights because of my flu-like
You'd
symptoms.
be so fucked.
I won't think I'd ever sleep again.
No, you wouldn't. Well, you might get a gun for your house.
Okay,
You
well, now what do you do if you got a gun on you?
Depends on how it escalates. Because they might shoot you anyway. They might rob you and you're like, and they'll just fucking kill you. So it depends on the situation.
Jeez.
If I'm with my wife, if I'm not, I don't know. I don't want to be in it.
So a buddy of mine got carjacked outside of a restaurant at 2 in the morning in the back alley. He owned the restaurant. He was taking the trash out. And his car was right there. And they were like, he was like, here, take my keys, take the car, whatever. All right, so listen, so they get in the car. He gives them the car or whatever. They get in the car. Teenagers, dude.
Of course.
Probably not even 16.
Nope.
They couldn't figure out how to start the car
So he helped
with the
them.
push button. So he's like, you got to push the button. And they still couldn't figure it out. Where's the button? Where's the button? They shoot my buddy in the leg and just take off running. Did not take the car and just took off running.
When did this happen?
Probably a little over 5 years ago.
Do I know your buddy?
You might.
Oh, do I?
Yeah.
What's his name?
I'll give him a shout out. Vito LaFata.
Vito.
My boy Vito.
Vito. From Creve Court. Vito. Get out of here.
You ever been to Vito's restaurant?
Yeah.
It's awesome.
So he got shot in the leg. That sucks. See, that's what I mean. Like, he's lucky he didn't die.
It's down by Slough.
He's lucky he didn't die. Yeah, that'll happen.
Great,
man, it's
best
scary.
pizza in St. Louis.
It's scary. You know what I mean? That sucks, dude. That's just you have PTSD after that, man. Everywhere you go, no doubt about it. You get robbed like that, God, it messes you up, messes your kids up, your wife. My God. So it's scary. St. Louis is scary, man. It is what it is.
What's Diddy thinking about right now? You know, he has to get up at 6 a.m. every day and make his bed.
Diddy's thinking about how he could off himself. Is what he's doing. He's thinking about how.
Well, what's the point of living if you're him at this stage?
Well, how do you kill yourself? It's not as easy as you think.
I hate to say that because that's never the
No, it's not as
solution.
easy as you think. Whenever you're in jail, when you're outside of jail, it's easy. If you have a weapon, of course, it's terrible. But if you're in jail, it's not easy to do. You think you could just wrap your head around and just sit like that?
Well, he
No.
doesn't even have a pillow.
You
apparently.
can't. They won't even have anything for him to do
He's
that.
got a shirt though.
It's not gonna. That shirt's not gonna kill you, dude. You don't have enough pressure. It's not easy to do. Not to mention they should be watching you 24/7. Make sure you're not doing it
They should be.
because they're gonna be on the stand. You know.
You think he'll go on the stand or just plead guilty? He can't
Oh,
go on the stand,
Oh
dude.
hell yeah! I think he's not gonna be there when that all goes down.
No, he wants a quick trial. His lawyer has come out and
Listen,
said that.
I just don't think he's gonna be around. Unfortunately.
What's going to happen?
Dude, they'll do the same thing that they did with Epstein. They'll have some agent go in there and kill him.
Okay,
You know,
can I just
that's how I think.
hypothetically?
That's how I think Epstein died for
hypothetically,
sure. For sure.
if he doesn't die,
Mm-hmm.
what happens?
Well, he's going to go to jail for the rest of his life,
Will
or he's
he
going to
have a trial,
or he's going to come out and try to defend himself and call other people out like they did it too. I don't know. I'm curious to know though.
You think his kids knew what was going on?
Well, God, yes. God, yes.
Do they still get his money?
He ain't gonna have any money left.
He's got $400 million left.
It's gonna be that's gonna be dispersed through so many different lawsuits and stuff. You out of your damn mind?
Jeez, oh. This is just.
It's interesting, man. I'm just curious to see who he calls out if he stays
Tune
alive
in tonight. Cam's on Entertainment Tonight with the latest report.
You want to break down preseason games or what? Like, what do you want to do?
Latest report.
What do you want? You know, you want to break down preseason games? We can. You know,
I told you Pacioretty had 2 goals.
I know. We talked about that. We told you Utah scored on their own net, which is cool. Still beat the Blues. No big deal. All good. I'm rooting for them. I want them to be successful, you know.
Read into games 5 and 6 for the playoff.
Yeah, I know
for
how
the
it works.
preseason.
I know how it works.
Yeah. Unless some teams actually only play 6 preseason, so maybe it's 4 and 5 for them.
Yeah, you'll know when you get the top pairs on you.
Firstforum.com/Cam and Strick. Use our link today and enter the sweepstakes and do it now.
Do it now.
Send us your order number. You still have a little bit of time. We've actually extended it like another week.
Yeah.
Send us your order number, and you're automatically included to be sent a prize pack from First Forum and the Cam and Strick podcast.
Yeah, and we'll be multiple winners too, just so you know. That's why we're doing this.
Yeah, Cam's got he's just
I got a bunch.
changing the rules as we go.
I got a bunch, and I'm just like, they did what they're supposed to do, and they intrigued me, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna pick this cat.
Illinois Recovery Center.
That's where it at. Swansea, Illinois, right down the road. Right down the road. That's Chrissy Pondoff and Eric Conley. They really care about you. They do. They really do. But you got to get in there and get your work done. Get it done. Quit waiting. Get it done now. It's right there in Swansea, Illinois. I don't give a damn where you live. They will take care of you. They'll help you out with whatever. They'll deal with the payment plan. They'll talk to you about all that kind of stuff. I know the people that work there. I've been there multiple times. The place is nice. It's comfy for the most part, but it's not going to be comfy because you got work to do. And then it's going to be comfy afterwards because you're going to have your head on straight and you're going to get shit done. Illinois Recovery Center.
IllinoisRecoveryCenter.com. Check it out. And if you've got a friend or a family member that you know needs help and you've been trying to get them help and you're not getting anywhere, reach out. We can get you in touch with Christy and Eric, and they will help you with that process as well, because that sometimes is never easy.
It's not easy
Certainly
to do.
It's not fun.
Not easy to do.
But they'll thank you in the end.
Yeah. And when you're done, you're like, thank God I did that. Thank God.
Blue Note Roofing, Cam.
Hell yeah.
Can you give a shout out to David Novak today?
David, what up, baby? What's going on, David boy? Working your ass off. I know that. Hell yeah. Dealing with all that hail damage from May. I get you. Fix those roofs for all these people, man. You do a damn good job. That's why you got a great reputation in St. Louis, baby.
Yes, he does. You can find his yellow truck driving around town. It's got the big Blue Note on it. Blue Note Roofing, 314-920-5713. 314-920-5713. I just bought back into his Survivor pool in football.
People care about that.
Having an issue. I lost already. I couldn't just...
A waste of money.
Baltimore losing to the Raiders.
And he's got no time for that. He doesn't even watch. He's at practice every damn day. Just give them money. Just give them the money.
314-920-5713. Gutters, soffit, fascia, siding, roofing. They do everything, and they do it at the highest level.
Blue Note Roofing, right there, baby.
Blue Note Roofing, baby. David Novak, man. Shit kicker.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Shit kicker.
I know what that
Tell
means.
him he's a shit
I'm the
kicker.
one. I'm
Well,
the one
tell him he's a shit
created it.
kicker.
You are a shit kicker. You damn right you are. Dang right.
Hat launch, baby. They make the best shit.
They make some damn good stuff. I need some more Cam and Strick hats. I'll tell you that right now.
I know. We'll have to get some more.
Yeah.
Especially for Christmas time. I know
Yep.
people have been asking about those
Yeah.
too. Hatlaunch.com. Listen, take your business to the next level with merch. They got shirts and obviously hats. They're the number one source for customized hats in all of North America, man. Nobody does it better. So if you need to make some hats for your business, dude, I'm telling you, all y'all out there, it may not even be for your business. Could be for your fantasy football team. Could be for your kids' baseball team.
yeah.
Could be for your business. You're having a retreat. You want everybody to have a hat that, obviously represents your business, dude. Like Local Legend right here.
They're the ones that will make it.
They will make it.
They will make it, and they'll do a damn good job. Damn good job. They got a lot of things going on. They got a huge another facility.
Warehouse.
A huge warehouse, man.
Quick turnaround, great prices, great quality. What else do you want?
Nothing. I want a dang good hat,
Well, you'll get that with Hat Launch. Hatlaunch.com, baby. Proper Cannabis, use our promo code CAMMONSTRICT20. It'll save you 20%, baby.
Oh, yeah. They got it all. How do you want to feel? You got back pain? Well, they got that. Can you not sleep at night? Well, they'll help you with that.
I've been having issues with that.
I know. Well, then get hooked up.
I will.
Get that night, man. Put you downtown goddamn Chinatown. It will. And you'll feel good in the morning, too. Night, baby. But they got it all. Why don't you ask them? Ask them how you want to feel. Ask them what's going on with your body. And they'll explain to you what they have.
They've got the honeybee edibles. They got everything.
They do.
But if you're not exactly sure what you want, just talk to them.
Talk to them.
Professionals inside of there. They'll help you walk you through it. There's so many locations. Some of them have drive-thrus. You don't even have to get out of your car. You can order online. Nice. You can shop online.
It's nice.
And then you just roll right into the drive-thru. They just bring it out. It's
pretty
about
easy.
as nice as it's going to get.
Yeah, pretty dang easy.
Proper Cannabis. Use the promo code CAMMONSTRICT20. It's going to save you 20%. Remember that. Take advantage of the great deals from Proper Cannabis. Sparks and Sparks.com, Cam. SparksHockey.com, I should say. SPARX. SparksHockey.com. SparksHockey.com. I had an issue the other day with a kid who went to the hockey shop, Cam, shows up at his practice. He was falling everywhere, and I said to the dad, I go, man, he had an issue with his right skate. You better go get that looked at before we have games this weekend. He's like, I just got him sharpened. I go, it doesn't even matter. That's what happens.
Lord.
You go and see who. He went and saw Seth.
Sucks.
And Seth almost ruined his weekend, and he had to get it taken care of, man.
Seth cares about everything but your kid and his skates.
And but your skates, yeah.
Yeah, And your kid could be dominant. He's toe picking over the damn place. He's sliding all around. Scouts are like, I thought this kid was good. No, he's falling down.
Yeah.
He can't stand up. Oh, he just hurt his AC joint because he went and tried to forecheck and toe pick because his skates suck.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have that. Get Sparks. Keep it simple. Get up in the morning, press a goddamn button. Done. Now your kid's not going to fall down.
Mm-hmm.
Scouts are like, oh, he is good. He must have had Seth sharpen his goddamn skates.
Right.
That's what they're saying. Can't have that excuse every time, though.
You can only use it once or twice. And then eventually someone's going to say, get a Sparks. You don't have to worry about that. Stop going to see Seth.
Yeah,
I can't tell you more than once.
Your kid sucks and you're, god dang Seth. They're like, no. That was 3 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
He's
Stop
not good.
going to him. I don't know how many times I can tell you.
Stop doing it.
Use our promo
You ain't going to make
code
the team.
Cam and Strick. It's going to save you more money than Black Friday and Cyber Monday, Cam. Doesn't get much better than that.
You're right. You're right on that.
SparksHockey.com, baby. Shilly Plastering. Cam, Shilly Plastering is what?
Well, they'll take care of your pool. They will take care of your pool. The plastering in your pool gets affected more than anything else.
Does.
Your animals, shit like that. You scrape it up, this, that, and the other. They will take care of that. They got the Pebble Tech. They will take care of it. That's why they've been around for, 50 years in this town?
Maybe even longer.
They're big hockey guys, too, man. We'll give you a little shout-out to his daddy, Davey boy. I love you, man. You're awesome to me in AAA. They give back to the community, and they take care of your pool.
Mm-hmm.
Your pool's an investment. It's an investment in entertainment. And if you fuck that thing up, man, you got to get that damn thing fixed before it gets out of control. And they will fix it. And they'll keep it fixed. So you don't have to keep paying for bullshit. Shilly Plastering. Check them out.
Turn your backyard into an oasis.
God, yeah.
ShelleyPlastering.com. They are unbelievable. Cam mentioned it. The Pebble Tech technology, which sometimes can be hard to say. Pebble Tech technology. 5-year warranty on that bad boy.
Yeah, get it done. Just get it done. That's your investment.
Every big dog I know, when I go to their pool, if I see their pools or see their pictures online, I'm like, hey, who did your pool? Who did? And they always say Shelley.
God dang, Shelley, baby. What's that?
Every single time. Every
My boy.
single time. Cam at Bellman, you get no.
Swinging dicks. None of that. I told all y'all about that. None. Your wife can go buy a car there.
Yes.
Although you should probably leave it. But your wife can go buy a car there and not get creeped out. That's all. That's a good thing.
You're okay
Troy,
sending
Missouri.
your wife by herself
Yes.
to get the car? Yeah.
Right.
At Bellman, not
Bellman.
anywhere else, though, really.
Not that swinging dick place where
No.
20 swinging dicks come out and are like, beat up Cam in high school. Like, no, I'm trying to buy this vehicle.
I
I
used
used to beat him up. How'd you marry him and not me? Why'd you marry him and not me?
Oh, that's Kane Janson's
Is that Kane
wife.
Jansen? Call me Kane Jansen. Good God. You got to stop that.
Dude, I'm
That's
sorry.
You are
It's unintentional.
hanging out at them parties.
Cam thinks everyone's at Diddy parties.
And he's sniffing like he's at a Diddy party. Tell you that right now.
What did LeBron say? What a terrible clip to be having out there right now.
How about
Ain't
him?
no party like a Diddy party.
Yeah.
And Diddy's like, ah,
It's my boy.
shit."
He stayed late with me.
Okay, see, no.
I'm just saying.
LeBron could crush that guy with 2 hands, with 1 hand.
A lot of them can.
Oh,
And they don't. Why is that?
I don't know.
Exactly.
Cam at Bellman, you've got Buick GMC
Figure
on
it
one
out.
side of the street. On the other side is
Jesus.
Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram.
Damn right. You got options. You got options. Winter's coming. So all y'all know.
Diddy does not have many options right now.
He's got. Well, he's got 2. Stay alive or not stay alive.
Oh, my God.
You know.
Breakfast is like a breakfast cake. I don't even know what that is.
You keep bringing this up.
It's the worst
You're
food.
the one who keeps bringing
It's the
it up.
worst.
Oh, you're in jail.
It's the
What do you expect?
It's the worst jail
What do you want?
in
And
America.
Andy, if Andy's in jail, holy macatoli. What's going on here? I told you I'm gluten-free. And he's braiding hair.
Oh my God, dude. All right, Paul Maurice. Stanley Cup winner and one of our favorites on this
Awesome
edition of the
guy.
Cam and Strick podcast.
Check it out, homies.
Enjoy. The Cam and Strick podcast is brought to you by First Form, baby. Use our link and do it today. www.firstform.com/Cam and Strick.
Get jacked now. They are the real deal.
Get that protein, check out the apparel, eat those bars, and drink those energy drinks. Firstform.com/Cam and Strick.
Yeah.
Now on to the interview. So thanks for doing this, man. I know it's been a long time coming, but we've been wanting to get you on. So congrats on everything.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm curious how this summer's been compared to summers in the past. Like, do you have the energy to do it all over again here, Paul?
Yeah.
Where's your
Oh,
energy
yeah.
at right now?
Yeah, real high. So you know what? Summer, the best way is the most peaceful summer of my entire life. And some of that's just achieving that goal, right? You're scratching and clawing to get there, and it takes so long to get there. And it's relief might be the word, but probably just peaceful. So, but I actually I had the longest summer away, even though it was the shortest summer ever. We got out of here July 3rd, right after free agency, and we got a place up north there in Lake of the Woods. So that's about 2 hours east of Winnipeg, Manitoba. It's just a beautiful lake. And what was cool, and I hope I don't offend anybody in the family, but we got our cup day about the mid to late August, and it was in the Windsor, Detroit area. So all my family kind of went there. So nobody came up to the cottage. So I had like 7 straight weeks. My kids came up. It was perfect. And that energy level is actually an interesting question. And I described this last week to somebody. It's like, it's a different source of energy that you've got. So you're grinding for it, right? It's almost a negative energy, right? You're constantly trying to achieve. You lose a game. You don't get to sleep till 2 a.m. You got to get up at 5. You got to get the video, but you're driven to do it. I don't want to say it's a negative energy or a dark energy, but it's that you're striving for it, and then it happens. And then you get this whole other energy level that you're just jacked for it now. Like, you're just so excited. There's a little bit of a dynamic that we win on a Monday night. The parade happens, and then everybody's gone.
Mm.
And so all these people, so really you win on the Monday night, the players take the cup, you don't see them for 5 days, you do the parade and everybody leaves town. So coming back, it's kind of like you're seeing each other. You only seen these guys once or twice since they won. So everybody's in a good mood. Everybody's excited. The energy is good. And we just got through our testing. We run a hard camp here and they tested at or better. So they trained this summer. They found a way to get and improve their numbers and push for it. And you know, it's sunny just about every day here, so it's not too hard to find big energy.
So do you go into training camp after, and I know there's a lot of guys that have been through it for the last 2 years, but do you ever maybe have some sort of changes to kind of ease into things a little bit more? Are you like, you know what? These guys are on their own, they're professionals, they're going to come in ready one way or the other. It's a short summer.
Like I said, first of all, I think these guys are a little bit different. So the first tell for me isn't the test results, it's more anecdotal how hard they tested, right? So the idea would be like Barkov's on the team and he's a fit man. So he hits a certain number. He doesn't have to push beyond that. He's got good numbers. You get off the test. Why would you kill yourself on the test? And they all pushed hard because that's kind of how they are. It's kind of, that's what they do. So the veteran guys push hard on the test. All the kids are watching them. They don't know any better. They just think that's the way this is supposed to be. But we specifically, Cam, didn't do that. We have run the exact same camp to the drill to the minute the last 3 years and made a lot of calls this summer. I called a lot of coaches, managers that I know, trainers, strength guys that have won Stanley Cups. And I would say that was probably the prevailing idea. You got to ease into it a little bit. These guys got a lot of hockey on them. But physically, that wasn't true by the way they tested. They looked like they had 6 months off. They're all stronger. So we didn't. We went right back to the exact same camp that we've had by design. We can measure. We have the ability in our new facility to measure the cost and the load on each drill, each practice. We're above the load from the last 2 years. So we specifically said we're not coming in light. We're not easing into it. We're going to get after it right away.
Hey, I'm curious. You weren't there 2 years ago, but did you have the data last year after losing in the final the year before? You were obviously there with the team you lost in the final. Where were they testing in last year's camp versus the year prior to that? Because so many guys were banged up and hurt.
Yeah,
obviously when you were in the final.
So we would have a block, and that would have been Ekblad, Montour. We got 4 or 5 top end guys that can't test, right? So we get no data on those guys, but we test everybody else out. And you know, it's you know, Cam, this there's 2 or 3 of your top end guys that are fit guys that test hard, and then almost all of your next testers are those hard grinding fourth line guys that can't come into K-Pad. They have to max everything they have out to be a player. So that usually, and then you got your American League guys that are really pushing to make the team. So that's kind of like the next block, and that's not really the case here. Like Gustav Forsling's numbers are so above and beyond normal humans, and then we've got a whole bunch of guys not far off that. It's kind of who they are, kind of how they approach things, and it's got nothing to do with the coach. That's the way those guys were. We're better this year than we were last year, slightly. So there's smaller marginal returns at the top. As you get closer to your max, you're increasing your fitness by 4%, 5%. The new guys can come in and get a 15 to 20% bump. But the whole group year over year is fitter this year than we were last year.
Listen, you've been doing this for so long, Paul, but you finally get to the mountaintop. I mean, it's got to feel so good. But I'm curious, how does it feel? You know what I mean? Like you're going to camp now, having won it now for the first time. You've been so close. You've been at it for such a long time. What is the difference in terms of the feeling? You know.
It's a tough one to answer. I'll just tell you these stories. So I've got 2 guys on my staff that have won Stanley Cups. So Jamie Compound's got 3 now.
It's our boy.
And Sylvain Lefebvre now has 2. And each one of them kind of independently down the stretch or early, they said, I want you to win so you know how it feels. Like, I want that for you. And when you hear it, you go, yeah, I'd like to. Me too. I'd like to feel that way too. That's good. And then it happens and you go, okay, now I understand what you're talking about. It is an indescribable feeling. There is that kind of connection bond between all of us when we walk down the hallway, even after a tough day, and you kind of catch the player's eye. There's a little tiny smile that goes that they did something together that was just special. So that's this wonderful feeling. But I think I feel like the group, like we're together, even though I've been after it for a while. You kind of get redefined. The coach comes in and he maybe redefines the way the team's playing as a group. Once you get into that, it's the players then shape the coach. I think if you try to be open and mindful for the guys that you have, the kind of people that you have, you change as a coach because of the group, the chemistry, the culture of your team. The players at the end of the day, a coach can move the culture. I don't know if this makes any sense to you, but the players will shape it. You are not going to change all personalities in that room. You can get a bunch of guys to play like this, but they don't become that team until they decide. So I think kind of going into the third year, after all this time, I spent the last 3-4 weeks thinking, I don't want to be the weak link here, right? Like I've got a job to do now. I got to push these guys. I got to get it right. If you think of the emotional level kind of on two bands, I got to make sure that we cross that casual. We can't be comfortable here with what we did. Like, it's got nothing to do with training camp today. Last year, it's over. At the same time, you don't want to cross the upper threshold where you expect somehow this to be easy. Win the Stanley Cup, right? We should just win every game by 5 now, which that was never true for us. We were in so many tight games. So for me, I spent, the last 3 weeks coming in here, worried's not the right way, but trying to assess my performance, my job. And that I think I get from them, right? Because I know that Gustav Forsling put in 7-8 hard weeks of training, and the fittest guy in our room came back more fit. So I got to have it right. I got to have day run right. I got to get the mood right. I'm not setting the tone. I'm just making sure that I'm consistent enough that the players can read off me.
What's the most hardcore thing that they have to do in training camp? Because I remember, every camp is different, but even like the treadmill where, it kicks up on elevation and it pops up a little bit more and you go until you die, basically. Is there something unique you guys do that the guys are like, oh boy, we're in for one?
No, so we wouldn't have like so we do our off-ice testing. There's nothing, it's all scientific, right? We aren't testing anybody's character in any one test. I don't need to see how far you'll go till you puke on the bike to see how fit you are. That's got no value to us. But what we will do is, our camp is slightly structured different by our exhibition games, but the 2 years prior, we would have 4 very hard days. And it's the pace of the drills and it's the drive of the drills. And then you come back and you got to do it again and again and again. So everybody, you have your first couple of days that are tough. No, we run a heavy camp, very specific to the game we want to play, and it's the duration of it. I think it's scientific, but we'll push them to the point that they feel terrible. I think one of the culture things for us is after those 4 heavy days, we play a back-to-back game like yesterday, and all of our veterans play. Every single Barkov plays in that game, because coming in, especially after you go to the finals one year and you go and again the next year, the idea would be, well, like Barkov really doesn't need to play an exhibition game, like right 4 days after you just pounded him. So Barkov's out. Okay, Barkov's out. Well, that Tkachuk guy's pretty important too. So he doesn't need to go. Force doesn't need to go. Sergei Bobrovsky's absolutely not playing. But who's the next guy on that list that goes, oh, okay, I'm not quite as valued as those guys. So we do it the different. Everybody plays. I use different language, but everybody gets a bite out of that sandwich, right? Coaches included. Right. Yesterday for the coaches is the longest day of the year. We run a practice at 10. We got a game at 2, and we got a game at 6, and we're all behind the bench. So that would be probably the thing. Maybe if you looked at our camp, you wouldn't see a lot of teams playing all the big boys on 4 days after you've just pounded them.
Hey, listen, you can say whatever you want on here, and we've heard your language, Paul.
Love it.
We saw the parade. Hey, listen.
Yeah, damn right.
Take me back to when you were 28 years old, though. Like looking back, were you truly ready to be an NHL coach? And what did that mean to get your start at that age, to be where you are right now and just get that experience, man? I don't know if we'll ever see that again at 28.
No, like the set of circumstances that had to come together for that to happen. And part of it is Jim Rutherford's a little bit insane. I'm really happy he's in the Hall of Fame now. So you can say that was the guy that hired me, but he was nuts. And I was so the question is, was I ready? Like, not even close, no idea what I was doing. But the worst part of it is I was smart enough to know that I had no idea what I was doing. And you know what? And that made for tough years early on. But where's the benefit to me? When you know you don't know, you work really hard at finding out. So I watched a ton of hockey and video, and I don't want to say I taught myself the game, but there was no professional development for coaches. I mean, I think you guys will remember this, but right around that time, Roger Nielsen started running coaching clinics in Windsor, Ontario.
Yeah.
And it was the first idea of that. One year I was early on. There were about 300 coaches in that auditorium, but there were 16 NHL head coaches in that room because nobody had seen any of that. People taking them through neutral zone transitions, D zone coverages. So I watched all of this video, and that eventually became a benefit to me. You know, I survived. I survived in this league and I'm coaching it because of Jim Rutherford. And one, he hired me, and then he didn't fire me. Well, he fired me twice. But he waited a long time before he fired the first time, not quite as long the second time. But Jim Rutherford was a mentor, a friend, and between he and, you know, Mr. Kermanis, the owner of the team, that's how I survived. Because I turned the job down 3 times. I knew I wasn't ready. And, you know, the kind of, Jimmy said, look, if the team's bad, you're bad. We're going to be bad for the next 3 years. You're going to be bad together, and you'll learn and grow. And that's what happened. And I wasn't ready. And I think there was a cost to it for me too, mentally. When you know you're not ready, every loss is then on you. You feel, you know, and then that becomes your psyche, and you carry that for a long time. And then it took me a long time to get to an age where I realized I'm just not that important. And maybe I understand that here now more than anything, because Barkov's way, way more important than I am. I got a job to do. I've got a handful of things I got to be right on every day and be consistent with. And other than that, the players get this thing done.
So at the beginning, though, you're a young guy. You're dealing with guys that are older than you. Was there any time where you're like, God, were you trying to be funny with the guys off the bat? Were you trying to be cool with them? I mean, were you
How was
confused?
Shanahan? Was Shanahan?
Like, were they chirping
Shut up,
you?
Paul.
Were they chirp your automobile like Keith Tkachuk used to do to Davis Paint? Like, I mean,
there's a lot in those questions, boys.
I'm sorry.
The first would be, no, you weren't joking around. I would be way more doing that now. But there's a great Bill Belichick's book, The Education of a Coach. He talks about coming in so young and walking around with a scowl on his face so everybody would take you seriously. That's also the caricature of NHL head coaches at the time. Everybody was Pat Burns, right? You're growling, snorting. Now, are they taking you serious? But I think I'd like to think I was smart enough to know I couldn't pull that off. So I don't think I really tried with that. When you look back at it, so just to put this in perspective, and I knew this, I turned the corner my first day to walk in the locker room. The first person I'm looking at in the corner is Brad McCrimmon. So his first year pro, I was in grade 7, just to give you a little idea of the gap there. The older guys were always the easiest to deal with. They knew the game. In that time, the coaches just said, tell us what to do, we'll do it. If we lose, you're gone. They were simpler to deal with. But, I mean, the things that have changed, I didn't understand it. Brendan Shanahan in Detroit grabs me after the game and he says, Paul, you got to give us a day off. You're killing us. So we went my first 6 weeks in the NHL, I didn't give the team the day off. But I just come out of junior hockey, and we never took a day off in junior hockey, right? I didn't know any better. So we practiced. We'd get off the plane 3 a.m. Yeah, we're going on the ice the next day. There was a whole bunch of things I didn't know. And it took me a long time to figure them out before. Then part of it is you got to have your own kids. You got to work in the NHL, and you got to have 3 little kids at home. And you don't sleep some night, and the guy calls you up and says, look, my kids were up all night. Now I get that. You know what? Stay at home with your wife. Take care of your kids. Today's practice just isn't that important, and we'll come back at it the next day. Some of this you just got to live through before you can learn it.
You had a cranky Jeff Brown. I mean, you had
Lord.
You had a lot of people there back in the day.
Guys.
Oh, yeah. And we love Brownie.
We love them all.
My fourth line my first year was Scotty Daniels, Mark Janssens, and Kelly Chase.
Oh my God.
Cameron. You know what? But the game was simpler then. Like if you got down 2-0 at home, those guys they didn't even ask if they were up. They just jumped over the boards, and 2 of them weren't coming back, right? Yep. Stu Grimson, right? You look down beside the bench and his elbow pads were on the bench. Stu's not coming back. So it was a different time.
Hey, but what's the story though when you were playing in Windsor and you suffered an eye injury? That's kind of how you got into coaching, right? Like, do you have full vision in the eye, and do I have that story right? Like, what happened there?
The joke of it is I've suffered 2 major injuries in my life. At 17, I got hit with a puck and lost most of my central vision in one of my eyes. But at birth, I had all the talent sucked out of me. That was the injury at birth. I wasn't close. Like, you know what? I remember my dad asking me after my first year. So I got hurt right at the start of my first year junior. There's a little insight into my father. So you have to have 75% vision, I believe, in both eyes to play in the NHL, or you got to sign on a waiver. There's a whole bunch of things. But I had an insurance policy, and at the time it was for, relative to those times, an awful lot of money for a kid from Sault Ste. Marie. And I went home and it was kind of it. And I was miserable. And my dad said, you know what, don't ever do anything for money. If you want to go back and play, don't take the insurance money. Just go back and play. And I did. And it was probably a good thing for me. I wasn't very good to start. When you got one eye, your depth perception is not very good. So I really had to figure out the game, where it was going. And that probably helped me a little bit. After my first year, my dad says, hey, have you ever thought of coaching? And I thought that was the most disgusting thing a man could say to his son, like, coaching? Come on, I'm going to play 18. Even then, I'm going to play 18 years in the league. You're not playing a day in the league. So he must have seen something. He's a former teacher. He must have seen something. And I fell into coaching. Again, it was Jim Rutherford and Pete Kermanis, the people who gave me all my starts in hockey. I started, you'd remember guys like Adam Graves and those fellows. When we had a major junior team at the time, you could only have 2 overages. And Pat Jablonski came back as the goalie to our team.
From St. Louis, I think, right?
Yeah.
There you go. And we lost 3 games from the time I stepped down. So they yanked me. I was captain of the team. They said, you're done. You can coach if you want. So I stayed on. We lost 3 games the rest of the year, and we lost 1 game in the finals. We went 15-1 in the finals. The last one was to Barry Melrose's Medicine Hat Tigers. Tommy Webster was the head coach, and that's a name that you guys will remember.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And at the banquet at the end of the year, Mr. Kermanis, the owner, said, did you enjoy it? And I said, you know what, Pete, I really did. I think I'd like to do it again. And he said, you'll have a job as long as you want. And I worked for the man for the next 17 years. But that's the kind of group Jim Rutherford, Pete Kermanis was. Like, I just got incredibly lucky to be at that place at that time to get all the opportunity those men gave me.
Yeah, but you must have been a hell of a captain, though. Has that happened before? You're playing juniors, and all of a sudden they hire you as a coach. Like, is that right off the bat? Has that happened?
Well, I don't know, but there's something going on in Windsor, because at some point there were 5 NHL head coaches that at one point were captain of the Windsor Spitfires.
Yeah, you got DJ, right?
There's me, DJ, myself, Pete DeBoer, Claude Julien, and Joel Quenville.
Yeah.
We're all captains of the Windsor Spitfires. It's a pretty unique. We were obviously not there at the same time. Unique incubator there in that town. It's a great junior hockey town. It's a great place to play. And I just got lucky. There were times the first 20 years I didn't feel particularly lucky, but it's turned out pretty good now.
I want to say, and correct me if I'm wrong, I apologize, Pete Kermanis, he's still alive, right? And Jim Rutherford, of course. Did they reach out to you after you won the Cup? Like, what was that moment like to hear from them, considering how important they've been to your career, you know?
Yeah. So Jimmy, for sure. So when Jimmy won his Cup in 06, I was leaving him a voicemail when the clock was ticking down. Really, really important, man. But great story on that. Jimmy had to be back in Vancouver, so he didn't get to the Cup party. But my Cup day was just in a small town just outside of Windsor, Ontario, where my wife's from. And Mr. Kermanis lives in Detroit, so he came over. He has now 4 teenage boys as well. And they got to see his name on the Cup. None of them were born at the time when he won in 06. So he came over to the Cup party. It was just wonderful to see him. I mean, it was just great. Those connections, that man had a major, major impact on my life. As so many kids, like through the CompuWare program there in that Detroit, the money that he's invested and given back, I'm one of the products of that program.
Man, oh man.
Yeah, no, I love hearing that. So I'm curious though, you mentioned Pete DeBoer. Like, he hasn't won, but he's one of the best coaches in the league, and he has been a great coach for a long time. Do you feel like it's fair that people look at coaches differently once they have won? When you consider, like, I mean, listen, you won a Stanley Cup, but you're just as good of a coach today as you were a year ago today, you know?
Yeah. Well, there's two pieces to that and I won't even let myself get to the end of this click to look over. What happens if we lose game 7?
Right.
Right. Am I work like I don't even want to think about that, man. Like that changes your day. And
Oh God.
you know what? Because I've been through that pain twice. One of my biggest fears, I don't know if I've mentioned this, but like I'm cheering for Pete, right? He's in the conference final. I'm cheering for him, except I don't want to play him. It's not about winning. Like one of the two of us has to get gutted then, right? And it's going to be a story where we lived together, we played junior together. I hired him as an assistant coach, but we basically did everything together. We coached. There was just the two of us running that whole program. Our wives are friends. I think, pretty sure I'm the godson of one of his kids. I know he is of one of mine. Like that's how connected this thing is. And then the NHL life takes over, so you don't see each other quite as much. But I just didn't. I don't know how I would have been able to process that. Now I want it so bad for him. Just that feeling that you can't describe to people, that you need to feel it to understand it. Yeah. I mean that. I'm cheering for him, and I did not want to play him in the final last year at all.
I don't blame you. Well, you're cheering for Winnipeg too, and
Yeah.
I have to. And
A lot of teams, eh?
I know. I know. Well, when you said that you wanted them to win the next year, I mean, we all saw that and we're like, interesting. So did you misspoke on that, or were you just happy?
No, that's exactly what I wanted. Like, you get, if I could explain it to you, the feeling that you get when that clock gets to 0, I mean, it's just pure joy, right? So I want that for Pete DeBoer. Winnipeg for me was a place that was brilliant to me and my family, right? My kids basically got through their high school there. My daughter lives and teaches there. We go back up to Lake of the Woods every summer. The story of the Winnipeg Jets is like the right story for pro sports. It's not a big town. The owner's not, Mr. Chipman doesn't own it for the money. He's not looking for autographs. The reason for the team is the city of Winnipeg. He wants that for those people. It's there. And they got to work their asses off to get people to come up and buy in and be a part of it. And they do. They work so hard at it. I had gotten to the point there and I couldn't move the needle anymore, right? You'd asked me about the energy. What I need from my job is to feel like I'm helping, like you're performing, like you're part of good. I don't want to be in front. I really don't want to be in front of the camera, but I want to be good at my job. And I'd given what I could. And then I'd gotten to that point where I knew I couldn't move it and I couldn't get it done. And I couldn't push the rock up the hill any further. And it was killing me. It was just breaking my heart for those people. So then, they're so good about understanding that situation. I had a conversation with Mark and Kevin in the summer prior that I was feeling like this. I was getting to that point where I was afraid I couldn't move the needle. It happens. I mean, it was affecting me greatly. And then you leave and you go somewhere else and you win the Stanley Cup. Come on, that's just greasy, right? But so I want it for them because that city, that Chipman family, the people that invest so much, they're there for all the right reasons. They work their asses off. And I want it for them because it would be right. It would be just then that if I couldn't get it done for them, move to Florida, win a Stanley Cup, I just like it for them. I'd like them to feel that feeling.
I get you.
So that's why you resigned. I mean, you really believe that you couldn't, that group, you could.
Oh, I knew it.
You took them as far as you could take them. So when you did resign, walk us through that. What was that conversation like where you said, hey, listen, I warned you guys in the summer, but this is where I'm at now.
No, it wasn't like that at all. It was just, it was time. It just kind of got me to that point. Well, I'll explain it to you this way. Maybe a better way to do it. In January last year, I turned to Bill and I said, we got to win the Stanley Cup here, Bill. And I said, you're going to have to fire me. And he's, we just won the Eastern Conference last year. We're rolling along pretty good. The idea is you can only ask men to do really, really hard things for so long, and you got to win the cup. Right? If you're going to grind and push every single day, you got to win because they have to get a payoff for what you've asked them to do. Like those first 3 camps this team's gone through here hard and they're tough. And we did a version of the same thing in Winnipeg. We went from being a team that had never won a playoff game, if you're going back to the Atlanta days, to a team that never then obviously hadn't won a round, and we kind of built it. But, you know, I'm grinding those guys. And I don't do it publicly. I'm not, when I say that, I'm not a yeller screamer necessarily in the room where I'm calling guys' character out, but we deal with our problems directly, and you're squeezing guys all the time. So I don't want to say, how do I say it? I know it's not that I enjoy it. I wouldn't enjoy the idea that I'm asking you to do a whole bunch of hard things and it's not getting better for you. I don't enjoy that confrontation with men when I'm angry at them, kind of making them bang their heads against the wall, and there's no payoff for it. And you don't mind pushing people and squeezing. If you see them having success, that's your energy to keep doing it. That's your right for you to go in and demand more and push more. And I'm not talking about, you know, you have one hard practice and you win the next 10 games. This happens over months and years and years. I had gotten to the point that I couldn't move it anymore. I'd asked those guys as many times as I could, and I understood. I wouldn't say I lost the room, but there was a Groundhog Day thing going on that it was affecting all of us. That's all.
Can you describe, well, first off, do you like coaching in Canadian markets? And I would imagine Winnipeg's different than Toronto. Toronto is kind of in a life of its own. So, like, describe that, because you've been in, like, very small markets, not a whole lot of attention. You know, Florida's getting it now because of your success, but, you know, Carolina doesn't get a ton of media attention. It's certainly not in the same conversation as Toronto or even Winnipeg. So explain that, being in Toronto, Winnipeg, versus doing what you're doing now in Florida and being in markets like Carolina before.
That's a big question, and there's no doubt there's a difference. Like and it's not just for coaches, it's for players. No, on one hand, it's brilliant. So if you grow up, you love the game, you grew up in the game. And when you do, that means that there's hockey on your TV every night. Maybe I'm a little older, so it was probably only Saturday nights. We only had 3 channels. But for you guys now, these kids growing up, they see hockey if they want to every single night. It's just such a part of the culture that it doesn't end. And then what's happened, and this is just an explosion, this is not a complaint, but when you look at the social media outlets, and I'm not saying that as a negative thing, because it's a real reason why everybody gets paid what they get made, right? The exposure now is tenfold, 100-fold of what it used to be. From a coach's point of view, then that's a really big challenge, because Toronto, especially, managing the market, it's not even the expectations, it's the daily flow of the swings up and down. Like, you win 3 in a row and you're right there, and then you lose 3 in a row and everybody's got to get fired. I mean, it's like little things that you learn. Like, I would never change the lines in practice. So if we got 3 days off in Toronto, I'm not flipping my left winger and, you know, flipping these 2 guys, because that's 3 days of 20 cameras in that stall before the puck even drops the next skate. And like, you've decided what you tell them what you're giving them what to critique the next game. So I just flipped the top 2 of the, we got to watch this now. And then just demoted that guy. How does it feel to be demoted to the next? So I just do it in game. I was looking for a little change in matchup, right? And everything that you would say, I'd always talk after all the players were done talking, because when you were done, that camera would go back into the room. And it's not a complaint. It's just a fact of living there, right? The number of the media ask, the media attention, the media scrutiny, and then, of course, the media opinion. An opinion will come from outside your room, be bandied around in the media sphere, and then it will come inside of your room, and now you have to answer for something that you weren't even a part of starting the conversation. You know, you sat Cam out for 3 games in a row. What's going on there? Well, Cam's already had to answer that for 5 days.
They don't care.
That's a good decision. That's a good coaching decision.
They wouldn't ask that. But no, Paul, though, but in reality, though, like, you want those guys to play with each other if they're going to play in a game in practice, and that be able to have to do that still hinders them in a way. And
that was my own small kind of story into the things that so I would change if it had to be done. But if I'm thinking about something, I wouldn't critique it then. I'd wait till the game to see it. Okay. And then the other part would be going, if we got off to a good start, like the game that was going, I wouldn't change. But you're kind of going, okay, I'm going to look at that. I'm going to move that guy around. I'm going to move that guy around. Or you get your backup. So your power play goes 0 for 5. Everybody wants you to change. You got to take Caberlet off the top. And then you just say, and you can insert the whatever word you want at the front, but I'm not changing. And you get your back up a little bit too. So now and then it also teaches you kind of that right balance between protecting your players, and you learn to protect your players, but at the same time still hold people accountable, right? And I guess how would that manifest? You'll get asked, and I know this is just it's a term of phrase, but Paul Maurice is sending a message to his players. And never, ever do that. Never, ever send a message through the media, because it's not going to come out the way you intended. It taught you very early to walk right into the door. And I'm going to relate my answer way back to the start. And that's maybe what I learned in Hartford more than anything else. As Tom Barrasso said, the next best answer to yes is no. You learn to don't lie to a player and get to your point. The thing that you want to say, get it out of your mouth first. And then I've lived by that. And I learned that early on, that I'm not going to go over and convince Kelly Chase that he's coming out of the lineup and say, Chaser, you're out tonight. And I got into an FU fight with him in Joe Louis Arena. It was my first big one. You remember the coach's office and the Joe used to be in the urinals on behind? He's in full gear. So we had the kick shake. That's the Tommy McVie. The kick shake after warm up. You're not playing. And we got into it. And I thought, man, I'm going to get beat here. Something awful, But those are the things you learn. Deal with your problems directly and as fast as you can, but don't send a message to the media.
Was Chaser like, hey, I was toe dragging guys in practice. I better play tonight.
Like all like that guy was tough. I mean,
God, yeah.
you know what I'm talking about, but you are almost in that bridge of heavyweights between the size of those guys, and he wasn't that big. No. He just wasn't. And compared to the size of them, and there were so many fights. Like in '88, I think that was the highest number of fights per game in major juniors. So by the time I get to mid-90s, it's starting to calm down a little bit. But there's still, we got 4 heavyweights on our team, and we don't even really have that tough a team. Those guys, it is a completely different world of heavyweight. And he was not a big man, and he was every bit as tough as all of them.
Smart fighter. Knew how to throw with both hands. Smart guy.
Your team now, you guys play... You guys have that modern day toughness, though. Every whistle, man, it just seems like you guys are there for one another. Who drives the bus in that department? Who's the guy that kind of? It's funny. We had Montour on a year ago, and he said, if we're down by goals at the end of the game, last 10 seconds, we just tell each other it's a melee after the whistle.
Yeah.
So, but
so that would be.
Go ahead.
And that's one of the great stories about hockey. That's in the room. That's theirs, not mine.
Right.
Yeah. I think in part of the personality of you got to get to know the personality of your group. But the first year we were a little bit wild here. You got Radko Gudish and we get the Stahl boys, and they're older veteran guys. So they all understood the gamesmanship that probably is becoming a lost art in the game, right? When you're speaking of sending a message, things that get said on the ice, things that get done. So then we got this kind of reputation of being like that. And then I think it came to us. Like we come into a lot of buildings, and the article is go to the big tough Panthers are coming in here. It's going to be a physical game, and we're just coming to play hockey. Like we didn't know we were that tough, but the other team got snarly, and then it's on. It's kind of like every time the Ottawa Senators play. Right? We play Ottawa, right? So I think from I'm going to say mid-December of the season prior last year to the end of the year, I think Matthew Tkachuk had about 6 minors. That's it. Except for the 2 games with Ottawa, he had at least 17 minutes in both. So at the end of the day, the Tkachuk brothers are almost a guarantee when that gets together. It's not, we try to be on the puck and we try to play a physical game. But if you go down the list of the guys, like Barkov's not sparing anybody. We got a whole bunch of very, very clean players. But because we play at a fairly high intense level, it happens in those games. And a lot of times now the teams come prepared for it by the way we play, and they bring it. And then we just kind of answer it. I mean, if I was buying seasons tickets and I could pick just one game, I'd watch the Florida Panthers and the Boston Bruins play every time.
Behind the bench, last year's playoffs.
was as mean and as hard a series as I've seen. The one next to it for me was the Boston series the year prior.
Yeah,
It's on.
and you get a Matthew Pasternak
Pasta, baby, center ice, let's go.
fight too.
Who does that? Like, good for
Great.
Pasternak, but that's the
Good for
level
him.
that the series got to. Like that your two danglers are out there. Matthew doesn't fight much. He may start a few fires, but he's really not a guy swinging all the time. But it's easy for me to say I wear a suit to work, so I'm not fighting anybody. I'm not yelling behind the bench that we play that way, because I don't play that. That's not me. It's not what I do. It's those days are gone when the coach is winding them up. I'm getting them to close gap.
Yep.
We are actually, I probably tell my players more not to hit than to hit in certain. We don't want to be running after them. You're just out of position. But then we got some guys that can finish checks. So Sam Bennett hits hard, and that's who he is. I don't pull him back, but I don't wind him up. That's just him.
Let him do his thing.
I know. Even if it's accidentally on purpose, it doesn't even matter when he's hitting.
It's not accidentally or on purpose. It's just him playing. You know what I mean? And the results of it are what the results of it are. He's just a gamer. He's just playing.
Scoring big time goals is what he's doing.
He's one of my favorite players in the league to watch,
yeah.
man. He brings so much to the table. He can impact the game in so many different ways. Hey, I'm curious though. You brought up Ottawa and Florida. Did you have a laugh? Were you mad? Like, what is your reaction when Big Walt is like going on a rant after you guys moved to Ottawa, and then you give it to the team the next night, and then you guys really don't look back the rest of the way, man? You guys just caught fire, and I don't know if there was any connection there or not.
Those two things kind of got tied together almost. They weren't. I hadn't heard about what Walt had to say for like 3 weeks after, and it came back out and kind of laughed about it, and off we went, right? But the game that we had played in Ottawa, we lost, I think, 5-3. And there was a whole bunch of special teams, and I loved our game. Like, I'm behind the bench. I don't care about the score. You watch enough hockey, you know how your team played. I'm okay, we're finally getting it. It's coming. Oh, my God. Then we go into Toronto, and like the 19th time we turned a puck over at the offensive blue line, they went down and they scored, and it was offside. So I got this kind of long block of time on the challenge, and I truly lost my mind. Like, I truly was just so exasperated. We worked so hard to play a certain way. And then the first chance that we had to get into a dangle fest out there, we just bit hook, line, and sinker, and I lost my mind. But it was really good because it's almost, there has to be a handoff between the coach and the players every single year. Comes a point in time where you're actually not coaching the team anymore. You've done your coaching. And when you stand behind the bench, you know when that day is, because you're going to go down and bark at a guy and somebody else says it or he says it. And then you kind of pull back, all right. And then the players on the bench are calling the game the way your team's supposed to play. And then you're done, right? Then you're just looking for matchups, keep the boys up, keep them fresh. And that was kind of the handoff game, mostly because my blood pressure wouldn't have allowed another one. And Montour scores an overtime in that game. And then the players took that. The players did. I wasn't hammering them the next day. I was just showing them, this is why I lost my mind. I wasn't upset with them. But if we're going to do anything, we just can't play that game. You're not good enough. It's the National Hockey League game will not allow you to play that game and be successful. And the players took it, and that was it. And really from that, they've played that game fairly consistently ever since. They've been pretty good.
That's when you know you're rocking and rolling, when they deal with everything in front of you. And you just
right on.
Exactly.
You're just moving logistics around. When we're eating, when we're flying, you're cutting back on practice. You're pulling back instead of going forward. We don't need another 10 minutes. We need 5 less. Let's get out of here. And then the players got it. Yeah.
I got you. Speaking of blood pressure, though, and you said that was a high point, but what was the highest point in the final? Was it having to go back to Edmonton, or was it coming back to Florida for Game 7? What was the highest your blood pressure was? I'm just curious.
Well, I mean, there was I'll take you through a bunch. I walk off the bench after Game 3, and I've never been that wired in my entire life, and it wasn't caffeine induced, right? Like, I can't even explain to you what happened to me anyway. And I talk about my team. When it hits you, you're going to win away. Like, I'm telling you, I barely slept and I wasn't tired. It was an awesome, awesome feeling. Like, you were just rolling. So we go into Game 4. I throw what I think is a fabulous pregame speech, wind them right up, and then as soon as the game got away from you, you emotionally broke, right? Like you see that in the finals sometimes, or as you get late. Once a game gets away, boom, it's gone. So we get crushed 8-1, and we come home to game 5, and at that point we're still good, right? It's not a matter of confidence. It's we're learning how to deal with it. I'm learning how to deal with it. How do you learn from being 1 win away from the Stanley Cup? You can't practice that. I mean, you can only hopefully get a chance to do it again, but we didn't know what we were doing. But game 5 defensively was by far the best game we played all year. It was brilliant, right? We gave up a 5-on-3, kind of a funny shorty, a shorthanded one, like aberration goals, and Sergei let in a dog. But we had the even strength chances, and this would be about 14-4 that game. Like, we were good. And then you're also going, we're going to have a tough one in game 6, right? You're getting on that plane, flying 5 hours through that place is going to be humping. And I didn't love our game 6. I thought the difference, game 4 I understood, game 5 I loved, game 6 I thought we were tight. We're still pretty good defensively, but we were tight offensively. We get the puck and there was no freedom, there was no movement because we wanted it so bad. And then I just thought for game 7 and they were people saying, well, all the pressure on your team. And there's some truth to that because this building's brand new. We got about 75 TVs in here. And I walk in Sunday morning, there's a great big banner on the bottom of all the sports shows. If the Panthers lose the final, is this going to be the biggest collapse in sports history? So honest to God, I'm running around. I get here. I'm trying to figure out how to get all the TVs turned off so nobody sees that. But so we're dealing with that. But there was a pressure shift there too, because now the Edmonton Oilers are going to go through what we've been just going for the last 3 games. Now they wake up and go, oh my God, for the first time, we could win the Stanley Cup. And that changes everything. We went through it for 3. So in our 3 games, 50-50 on game 6. We were dominant in game 5, and we got dominated in game 4. I thought we were good. And then, yeah, you know what? That Sunday's a tough day because but I think the things I kept telling myself to kind of manage that blood pressure was, this is exactly what you've wanted your whole life. Like, nobody dreams. You're not playing on an outdoor rink scoring the 8th goal in a semifinal, quarterfinal game. It's game 7, it's overtime, and it's in the Stanley Cup final. It's all we ever dreamed about. So whether you're coaching or you're playing, this is exact. So in order to have that opportunity, you got to live through this. I don't know if it's hell or it's heaven or what the hell you're going through between games, but you're wired. Yeah, it was a great, you're dealing with it. So,
how'd you sleep before game 7?
You know what? Pretty good. Like, I had done my work. I had found the message I had wanted to send out after game 6. By the time I had gone through the game, I had my 3 days planned on where we were going with it. So I was looking forward to it. I mean, truly, by the time there's a lightness in our room going into game 7, and probably because it's kind of going, you know what, that the silly quote, there's nothing left to save it for. That's not the right meaning. This is it. Now's the time.
Mm-hmm. I'm always curious when you coach guys who you've maybe butted heads with in the past, like from a hockey standpoint, you played against them, right? Like Matthew Tkachuk's one of those guys who you battled against when he was in Calgary.
Oh, baby.
Yeah. And you're obviously coaching in Winnipeg. So what were those initial conversations like with him? Because I know he's got just a shit ton of respect for you, just the way he talks about it.
Yeah. And that goes both ways, truly. And I'll start with the back end of the question. Like, it was an amazing thing to watch him come in here. I don't know him. Don't like him at all, right? Piss you off for 56 minutes as his opponent and then score the game winner all the time. It's not enough that he could just kind of bug you, but he would just, he gave you a little shot, get a guy to be a scrum over here. And he's funny as hell. And he's got a phenomenal chirp game, like world class. So you'd be driving by the bench, just dropping bombs on your guys. So I don't talk to players on the ice from the other team. I mean, it's happened maybe 3-4 times when that'll be just you just lose it because the guy's running around. But he would just make you want to scream at him, and then he'd score. So, and you know, he and Mark Scheifele had a collision in game 1 of the qualifying, and I didn't take too kindly to that, and I don't think Mrs. Tkachuk took too kindly to me. So there's some history there. And this guy rolls into town, and he takes the trainers out the second day, and I'm watching him. I want to learn about him, and it is an awesome experience. Now, the one thing that a lot of people don't know, that his dad, and I know that they make funny commercials, but his dad has an incredible quiet reputation in Winnipeg for helping so many people without ever telling anybody. And I worked with some of those people, and the stories I heard about his dad and people who got in a little financial trouble, needed a little help, trainers who couldn't quite pay the bills, all like that happened over and over again, except it's not out there in the public, right? And I'm not telling any direct stories, but that's out there, and that's the kid. So, and from my brief experiences, or family's brief experiences, that's Brady as well. Just watch the way they treat the support people, the bus drivers, the flight attendants, all of those people, the fourth equipment guy. I'll tell you one story. So we're in Detroit, and there's a friend of mine who's there, and he's got his 2 kids, and for some reason they're not Red Wing fans, they're Panther fans, and they like Tkachuk and Byfuglien. So after the game, but probably 9, 11-year-old boys, I bring him in, going to get this sweater signed. Well, Matthew's just stepping out of the shower, and he goes, no, we can do better than that. Just wait. Goes, gets dressed, takes the kids in the weight room, gets the pictures done, signs it. And he says, that's a Byfuglien. I said, yeah, would you mind, Chucky, bringing it in, getting Hags? He goes, no, we can do better than that. And he goes in and gets Hags Byfuglien out of the shower, gets them dressed so they can take pictures. So that's the kind of guy he is. And they play 82 games. We travel all over the place. They do a lot of signing autographs and pictures. Matthew Tkachuk is a big-hearted, wonderful young man. He's a leader for sure. He's a different personality than anybody else in our room. But I have done a complete 180 on that young man, and yeah, he's special.
Yeah, he's fun to watch. We love his whole family. We do.
Yeah.
Walt was great in the locker room.
And you're
too.
right. Yeah, Big Walt, he had this, same reputation. So listen, the apple doesn't fall too far.
No.
You know what I mean?
That's
so
right.
He'll chirp you as a coach, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. The mom has everything to do with it. Let's be honest.
Oh, yeah. She runs the show, for sure.
Absolutely.
Big Walt's a grandpa now, you know?
he is.
So Brady
Yeah,
just had a
that's right.
baby.
Yeah.
That's right.
Grandpa
Wonderful.
Walt.
Hey, listen, so Matthew and Barkov and Reinhart, they get so much of the attention. You mentioned Forsling, who doesn't get nearly enough attention. This guy's an elite hockey player, but who are also some of those guys that maybe don't get enough run on the Florida Panthers who deserve,
A shout out.
Both the young kids in the middle, in the 3-hole there, A2 Luosterainen. So for an identity style of game player, he would be that guy. Now, he's not a big point producer in some ways, but he is on the puck and hard to play against, and stays out of the penalty box. He and Anton Lundell, right? They're in that 3-hole. We get into the playoffs the year prior, and we had some injuries. Like Bennett got hurt at some point, and Barkov got hurt at some point. Now Sam Reinhart would be maybe the second smartest player I've ever coached.
Behind who?
Ron Francis.
Ooh, okay.
Ron Francis is the smartest hockey person in terms of sitting down, watching a game, and telling you what happened. And then Sam Reinhart's right in there. When there's something going on with our game that I'm not sure what I'm seeing, I'll go ask him, and he can detail it. But he was there. Lundell, Luosterainen, and Reinhart, and we would get a lead in the game, and I'd roll those guys, started rolling out, because Rhino could take faceoffs in the D zone, and always the best players came out, so they would match. They'd go after that third line, and we'd win every time. Like they're quietly, technically almost perfect, that line.
Can I ask about somebody, and it's not with the Florida Panthers, and I've dealt with him a couple times, even in coming up in the American League, but big Dustin Byfuglien, like he put me down a couple times, and it my soul came out of me. And I always remember that. Like, how was he? I know he's unique. We want to have him come on the show, and I know he's doing his thing, but what can you tell us about Big Buff? Yeah,
unique is exactly it. One of the top 5 personalities of players I've ever met. So it's funny that first of all, that was an absolutely perfectly descriptive way of explaining a hit by Dustin Byfuglien. So that was as good as I've ever heard. So we're at the World Cup. I got Buff on my team, but I'm coaching at the World Cup, and we're going up to game one. We're playing Team USA, and word comes down in the morning, say Big Buff's not playing. So we're kind of going around, and every forward, oh, thank God. Oh, my God, thank God. And then I started to hear the stories like, as Thomas Tatar said, he just hit me harder than I've ever been hit in my entire life. I couldn't find my equipment. And then you're kind of going around and everybody's got a Big Buff story. The thing that you didn't see, first of all, he hit Mark Stone harder than I've ever seen anybody got hit in a life. I don't know if you remember that. And it was unbelievable. And then he's this most incredible family man you've ever had. Like if he could have 25 kids, I think he would. What he loved was he loved playing. I think he actually liked practicing, not for the work part, but just being out with the boys and chirping somebody all the time, right? Like he just loved that, being around the guys. And he loved his family and his kids. Like he would go, he'd be out hunting, he'd be out fishing, or he would play with his kids all day long. And what happened with Buff is I think he just loved it till he didn't. The day he didn't, he stopped playing. So it was pretty simple for him. He was driving to the rink and he didn't want to go, so that was it. He didn't play again. But what an incredibly powerful, gifted man. Like he was off the charts good. I miss him. Like he's one of those great stories in the game. And that's Buff, though. He was going to walk out of that rink and he wasn't doing another interview after that. Nobody was ever going to see him again. And he's good.
Did you ever have a fuck you match with him at all? Like, did you?
But he's the only guy left. So the last 5 maybe are with me and Buff on the bench, and we get going back and forth at each other that nobody really made sense anymore. And the first time we did it, the rest of the bench just froze because I don't think anybody's ever been on the bench when the head coach and somebody went after it, right? Got at it. So it was really kind of good. So Buff and I'd be giggling about it the next day. We'd hug it. It was all funny, but the rest of the guys are walking around on eggshells. It was actually kind of worked out pretty good every once in a while. So yeah, we got into it, and then it got silly. And I don't know, he wouldn't dump the puck when I want him to. Wouldn't drop the puck, whatever, whatever it was. And then he'd say something, and you kind of go, I kind of can't let that one go. And then you'd fire one back at him, and he didn't care. He thought, okay, it's on. So, yeah, he was a wonderful guy.
Did you play him at forward ever, or was that just in Chicago? Like you never played him at forward?
No, I played him at forward. Actually, what happened was they moved him up. So he was at forward in Chicago, came back, played defenseman in Winnipeg. And then just before the coaching change where I came in, he was moved back up, and I left him there when I got there. And then after a while, it was kind of, all right, you can go play defense. You got to do these 3 things. You do these 3 things, and I didn't remember what they were, but you got to do these 3 things. And if you do those, you can play defense the rest of your life. You never have to go back up forward again. And that's so he did. Like he's very kind of coachable. Like he knew the game. Buff understood the game. He knew the game. He was a free spirit out there, but he'd get off. If you went down to talk to him about something, he could tell you where everybody was on the ice. Like he was a smart player.
So he liked playing D. Because with 8-year-olds, it's the opposite. None of them want to play D. They just want to play forward, Paul. You know, so that's
easier.
I think he didn't. You know, like about 80% of forwards of the work forwards do is just hard work up and down the ice. I don't think Buff wanted to do that, but he could grab that puck. He could end a few plays in the corners in his own end. I think he liked that.
Yeah.
He could catch a guy, but he'd turn around the back of the net and build speed. Nobody was stopping him, and I know we love that. Right, he get up and down the ice, and he enjoyed the hell out of that.
We're gonna let you go here.
Yeah, you've been
just
awesome.
a couple more, man, real quick.
Man,
was that team North America you were coaching? Was that at the World Cup?
I was coaching team. I was assistant coach at Team Europe, and he was on USA. So it was Ralph Kruger was the head coach of Team Europe, and we ended up beating them 2-0, I think, in the game, and moving on.
How was
Buff wasn't in?
Real quick? How was the KHL? I think you were in this hometown of Evgeny Malkin, which is, I'm sure, a lovely place.
For sure.
Lovely place.
It was the hardest thing I've ever done, and it was professionally one of the most rewarding things I ever done. I got a completely different perspective on European players, but especially Russian players, what their culture means to the game. Like the game is completely different over there. There's a reason for it, and it's right. The rink's a different size. They have a different culture to their people. And there's a puck possession game. It's a very smart, most of it's a stereotype. Most of these Russian players, believe it or not, are very good defensively because you have to be because of the size of the ice, but they won't dump the puck because it would be foolish to dump the puck over there. So if you did, you're kind of stupid. So we get these kids and you bring them over and you're going, well, it's the NHL game. You got to dump the puck. Well, it's not that they're bad guys. You're just going against 18 years of training. Like you're going, why would I become the stupidest man who's ever played the game? Like it's extreme like that. Their view of the game. So I didn't have any appreciation for that. But the big one for me, I'll try to make this quick, but I had a player named, I don't want to mention his name. So I had this young player and his mom and dad had passed away, a special needs brother, and he was taking care of him. And he was a younger player. And I was pulling for this kid to make the team. You know, I mean, I really wanted him to. And he had 3 great games. And I'm fired up for the guy. And we're crossing paths in the hallway. And I want to tell him, but I can't. Because I don't speak any Russian, he doesn't speak any English. And as we're walking by, I just realized I've never talked to my players enough. I've never communicated individually enough. And you don't know it until you can't. And that had a major, major impact on me. And I had Malkin actually there. So the lockout is happening. I got Malkin, Brian O'Reilly, Sergei Gonchar, Nikolai Kulin, and they come over and we are awesome, right? Like we are a really good team until they left. But Evgeny Malkin, but we're out in the middle of nowhere, man. There's nobody watching us practice. I could not believe how hard that guy worked. He is a pure performer. He wants to score goals. He wants to win, and he wants to play, and he's driven to do it. He would. That was a shocker to me. I didn't know the man, but you get an NHL guy over there who's a star, and he doesn't have to turn a wheel if he doesn't want to, and he's not playing in that league. And that man worked his butt off every single day. I really, really enjoyed having him.
Damn.
Listen, we can't go through this whole conversation. I got to have you talk about Barkov a little bit, you know, because he's your captain. But like, what should we know that we don't know about this guy? He's so quiet. He keeps a low profile. I'm sure that's by design, but he's the quietest, incredible superstar that. Yeah. And when Chris Pronger was working there, I remember he used to say to me, "Hey, listen, this guy's a top 5 player in the game," even when nobody was even putting him in the top 10 at that time. You know, but what makes him so great? What do you know about him now that you thought you knew before you got there?
Well, everything, because I'm with you. I knew he was in the league. I knew he was a great player, but the playing on the other side, I'd see him play twice a year and I wouldn't watch that much and had no appreciation for how good he was. But the answer, I'm going to give you an answer about Barkov, and it's not going to be good enough because I can't answer that question about him yet. I still haven't got it figured out. I don't know how to do it justice, but he's this extreme perfect blend of absolutely no ego and an incredible drive to be better at the same time. So usually the guys that are really driven have a bit of an ego. It's not, ego's not bad always, right? It's and maybe I'm using the wrong word to describe it, but he will put his teammates and his everything first, and it won't bother him one bit. That's exactly the way he wants it. He doesn't want to be the first guy. He doesn't want to, it's not that he doesn't want to do interviews because of the media. Talk to this guy. You walk in our room and you don't know hockey and you don't know names. You can't tell if he's the first forward or the 13th forward by the way he treats people. That's absolutely the truth. And the reason he's not appreciated as much as a player is I have never, ever once seen him even remotely cheat to the offensive side of the game to score a point. He just won't do it. That doesn't mean he's sitting back defensively. He doesn't give a rat's ass about his point totals. He just wants to win. So he's never going to put the numbers up that he could. If Barkey decided he was going to generate points, if somebody convinced him, hey, Barkey, if you just cheat the game and score, we've got a better chance of winning, I don't know, 120, 130 points. Like, he is brilliant. But he will never, ever put he wouldn't put himself in front of the game. The game demands certain things, and you can't get past that, no matter how good you are. There's certain things you got to do in this game, and usually those are hard things. He never once put himself in front of the game.
He's fun.
You can't score 120 or 130 without cheating a little bit, right? I mean, it's just a
Yeah,
reality.
except those guys don't call it cheating; they call it anticipating. Bad players cheat; good players
They
anticipate.
see
There it
things
is.
before they happen, Paul.
There
That's
it
what
is.
happens.
Exactly.
Well, listen, man.
You're the man,
We didn't even
Paul.
talk bear hunting. You know, the
I
first
know.
time I called you to ask you to do this, you were going bear hunting.
Oh, that's
you
right
know?
too. That would have been in March, right? Yeah.
It was after you left Winnipeg, before you even got
Be
to Florida.
careful with that.
So,
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I didn't get a bear. It
oh,
was
you
quite
didn't.
sad in
Can
the
I
bush
say I
and
like that though? I feel like bears are majestic, and I know you gotta kill some of them because they're overpopulated. But is it?
Yeah,
do you
I'm with
just
you.
put a salt feeder down and they come and kill them, or are you just in the
Yeah,
wild?
so
killing them?
I'm gonna answer this question. It's gonna sound like I know what I'm talking about, but I have no idea what I'm talking about. I got a guide who's a friend of mine who took me, and they rigged the whole thing up. But Cam, I'm with you. I'm watching these bears play, and they're playing, right? I said a black bear trees a black bear that's got this beautiful brown coat and trees it in front of me. And like 15 minutes later, the bear in the tree is swinging its leg, it's playing, and I'm going, ah. So another bear come through, and my guy said, "What do you think?" I'm going, too small, too small, too small. So it wouldn't matter. Godzilla could have come through there at that point, and I just said, "That's too small." You know, I mean, it was. You're right. They're incredible to watch.
And by the way, I do like cats too, just so you know. I saw your speech. I got a little kitty cat, 17 years old. People chirp me, and I don't give a shit because she puts me in a
It
dang good mood.
makes my eyes itch.
17. I'm going to get another one when she passes.
Jams, nobody's chirping you to your face.
All
You
right.
still got the reputation.
No shit. No, they
You
know
can have
what's
as
up.
many cats as you want.
That's right.
Yeah,
You're
that's
right.
it.
You like
That's
that?
it.
Right on. Paul, you're the
listen,
man. Thank
hey,
you so
all
much
right,
for your
Chris.
time.
Congrats on everything,
No,
man.
my
We'll be
pleasure.
watching.
We'll see you during the season.
We're rooting
Great
for
to
you.
see you. Okay,
Okay.
guys, have a great day.
See
Thank
you,
you.
big dog. Thank
All
you
right,
very
Paul.
much.
The Chemistry Podcast is brought to you by Bellman. BEHLMANN. Bellman Automotive. Located where?
Troy.
Troy, Missouri. Buick GMC on one side of the street. Right on the other side, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Get yourself some new wheels in time for the winter. All right, that was Paul Maurice.
How was it?
We haven't
Quit sniffling. Good God almighty. Maddie, don't even take that. Don't even.
No, I can't
He's
help it.
sniffling, man.
Can't help it.
Let me look up there real quick. What do you got up there?
It's
What do you got
allergies,
going?
man. Don't be trying
If
to.
I was sniffling, you'd be like, whoa,
Well, probably so.
whoa.
But Ty has a 102. Ivy's got a cold.
Everybody's sick. Now I'm going to be sick, and Maddie's going to be sick because of you. And I'm not going to come in here next week and bitch about it. Not going to do it because I don't do that.
The Panthers were a cool ass team. I wish them the best of luck this year too. And Paul
Has he
Maurice
slept?
has had a incredible career.
Yes, he has.
and
Yep.
obviously, I think this just cements his legacy as one of the greatest of all time.
I agree. He's one of the best coaches current right now. No doubt about it.
They had rankings like top 10 coaches in the league.
Who are they? Let me see. 2 Florida guys.
Yeah,
Okay. Was Chief involved in that?
I think he was 12th.
DeBoer. Cassidy.
Cassidy was 3. DeBoer was 4, I believe.
Okay. Dang. I don't know. I'm blanking now.
I can't believe we haven't had Pete DeBoer on. I'm gonna
I know he coached me with the
I'm gonna
Devils.
make that happen. He's a great guy, man, and a
He's
great
awesome.
coach. He
He's
wins
cool.
everywhere except just needs to get that
That's
Stanley Cup,
well,
baby.
that's a lot of people are like that.
Yeah.
Get to the promised land,
Jim Montgomery was in the top
Was he
10.
good? We like him a lot.
You think you were going to see a lot of movement? I was talking to somebody the other day about Joel Quenneville, kind of just patiently standing by and waiting for his opportunity
He's ready to go. Isn't
jump back behind an NHL bench. Would you suggest that he is picky or just jumps at the first job?
I would say that the jumping at the first job would be probably a small market team. So I would be like, hell
Well,
yeah.
you don't know that.
Okay. I would. Okay.
I mean, whatever job is
Okay. I would say jump on whatever.
you would.
Yeah.
Don't wait for
Right now. Yeah. Somebody offers you a job.
Why would you say it's a small market team?
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong on that.
What I mean that are you suggesting there's small market teams that are looking to fire their coach right now? Is that what you're saying?
I would say that I don't know. Maybe I was just wrong on that statement. I would say that if I'm him, I would just pick anything. If somebody offers
I don't know
you.
if I'd do anything. I think, listen, he's been reinstated. You can't forget the success that he's had. He should still choose to go to a team that he believes that is capable
offers?
of winning.
He's getting offers from
Well, he was
teams?
getting offers, and people were calling him left and right before he was reinstated. They couldn't get reinstated.
Okay, so now he is. Are they still doing it?
Well, I think now we're getting ready for the season to start. I'm sure some teams are being like, "Hey, listen, we want you to watch our games.
Yeah.
Let
Things
me
might go down.
let me know what
That's
you're.
fine. Yeah.
Let's keep in touch
That's cool.
and let me know what you're thinking." And there are coaches out there right now who will be on a very short hook because Joel Quenneville is available.
Okay. You know more than I do when it comes to that.
I'm just saying.
You know, so I don't know if I have a comment on it. I don't know if the people are asking him. He's like, no, I'm waiting for the right thing. Or is anybody saying anything to him?
But I guarantee you teams have reached out with him. And I'm sure he's obviously watching games. He's been watching games the last couple of years anyway.
Yeah.
But I'm sure he'll be talking with owners and general managers periodically after games. What are you seeing? This and that. And he's like, hey, you need to do this. You need to do that.
Oh, I bet that's the case for sure.
And they're like, okay, let's just move on. Let's get you in here.
Yeah. There's a lot more to it than that, you know. Some of the fans might not agree with it. I don't know.
Yeah, I think. Have you
think
heard
that's
a whole
bad?
lot of negativity with Stan Bowman?
Yeah. Yeah, I have.
But they got past it.
Yeah.
Now that the games have started.
I've heard.
I think that's the value of doing it during the off season.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or is there value in just doing it during the season where they don't have time to like react?
What do you think that if you win, you win? I think people will just. But if you lose, and that's always going to be brought up. You know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So I'd take a chance on them, 100%. So I'm not in charge of anything, unfortunately.
Uh-huh.
You know.
No, you're not.
Are you?
Cam's just. This guy's our Entertainment Tonight correspondent, live on the scene.
What were you bringing to the table? What do you want to talk about?
Live on the.
You want to talk about your sickness?
Let's head out to the Diddy compound.
Andy wants to talk. See, Andy wants to talk about himself. He wants to talk about his cold. Like, people don't care.
Let's head out to Diddy's compound. Cam Jansen's live on the scene. Cam, what do you have for us?
Let me go creep through them mezzanine cabinets. I'm checking every fucking nook and cranny in this mug. I'll let y'all know. Ooh, a DVD. What's in that mug? Oh, God.
$48 million house.
A big bed in his backyard.
What do you mean? They found that?
No, they knew.
Okay, but here, I think there's been some obstruction of justice going on too. And once he knew that they were in on him, he's probably gotten rid of a lot of stuff. You just wonder how much stuff was left.
We know a lot of people.
I mean, you can't prosecute him because there's thousands of bottles of baby oil.
No. But that just still ties into what they were doing there, which is not a crime to have orgies. But when you extort people and you film them unknowingly and this, that, and the other, and then you have this, there's a lot to it, man. And some of the kids might be younger than you think. And you won't let them leave, and you beat the fuck out of them when they do leave.
Oh, my God. Okay.
I mean, did you not see that? I'm sorry, is that fake?
No, that was
like,
on
I like
video.
how you're like defending Diddy. He's a fucking
I'm not
scumbag.
Oh, my God. I'm not defending him.
Scumbag.
He would have gotten kicked out of the NFL for that.
Scumbag.
Like Ray Rice.
Well, some do, some don't.
That's true.
Well, Deshaun Watson has another couple out.
Does he?
Yeah.
You keep saying that, but I haven't really heard much of it.
2 more girls came out, I thought, and said, hey, he did something to me.
I saw that other Rice Sunday night for the Chiefs catching touchdown passes. Wasn't he the guy on the side of the road that had like the car accident and he and his boys were like walking away with like guns and stuff?
They were racing. They had guns in the car and he hit like a family with a young little girl in there. And they get out of their cars after they wreck. These poor families and they're like, They don't even look at him. He's a good guy. Good guy.
No, they all got guns in their hands as
he's a
they're
good guy.
walking down the highway.
Imagine being in a car accident and there's a young little girl affected by it and you don't even look at her. Good guy. He's a good guy. Root for him.
Where's Jersey?
Where's Jersey? Support him.
Buy his jersey.
Well, he had a touchdown, Cam. Don't care.
He's on my fantasy team,
scumbag.
Cam.
You know.
Not my team. I play.
Not all these guys you look up to would even talk to you, acknowledge you, you know. A lot of these people you look up to wouldn't even give you the time of day. Some will. Mm-hmm. The good ones do.
Yeah.
We got some good ones in hockey, man. I'll tell you that right now. There's good ones in every sport. I'll tell you that right now.
There are.
We got Wayne Gretzky walking around on water. He'll come over and talk to you for fucking 20 minutes. Don't even know who you are. He's the best player ever to put on skates. Wayne Gretzky will talk to you for 30 fucking minutes at a goddamn gas station.
So will countless of others.
Tons of
And
people.
There's some
will.
great
But
people
there's some scumbags too.
in,
There's
in
scumbags.
other sports.
There's scumbags.
I always found in my history covering professional sports, baseball players were the worst.
People say that.
Well, just my own experience. Baseball players were the worst. Now, I think it's gotten a little better, but they were just not easy to deal with, man.
Well, a lot of them don't speak English.
No,
and-
that was not the issue.
Okay.
A lot of North American players, complete jerks, Cam.
I
Assholes,
heard that,
man.
Andy. I heard that a million times over. I heard NBA guys are tough to deal with.
Like,
I heard
like
NFL guys.
the
are tough to deal with.
90s and 80s baseball players.
Well, fuck, Mark McGuire was not easy to deal with.
Hell no.
I'll tell you that people chirped the fuck out of him, but he was a goddamn rock star. And thank God he was around in the 90s for the Cardinals because that was the only thing going on because they weren't that good of a team. And he brought all of our attention to the table. Even guys that didn't even care about baseball. Mark McGuire and Sammy Sosa did that. That's why I want a steroid league. Jack all these motherfuckers up and have them hit like 100 dingers a year. Give a fuck. Fighting all the time. Who cares?
Right.
That's what I want. Steroid league.
Mhm. But I found football players were great to deal with. I loved dealing with the football players when I was covering
Well, they probably thought
the
like
National
you guys are
Football
family.
League.
You're family.
They're like
They looked at you and they're like, "You're part of."
We would
us."
talk about cover two and
Yeah, that'd be funny to see that, dude.
different
Like, look at it. Like, what'd you say?
different schematic
Yeah.
concepts,
Yeah,
schemes.
they're into what you were saying for sure.
They knew.
They were paying attention to you. They're like, "Oh, Andy's here. Andy,
We'd watch some
cover two."
We'd watch some video.
Would you break it down with the fucking laser pen?
Oh yeah.
Go over here now. When cover two comes this way, you go this.
Mm-hmm.
So funny. Some of these college coaches.
It's your first check down right here.
I love these
Yeah.
college coaches. So funny. Dude, it's just, they're all so fucking Southern, man. It's so funny. So goddamn funny. I don't know.
Arch is balling out though.
I
man.
like Archie. Little fucking wheel. You're damn right. I like the Mannings, dude. I like all of them.
All the
They're cool
Mannings.
as fuck. Like Peyton Manning's cool as shit. Even Eli's cool, dude. I like the Mannings. I do. a
Eli's
lot.
got a kid playing hockey.
Yeah, I saw that. I know. They seem like, if you saw Peyton, he'd be like, "Hey, what's up?" I think.
He'd shake your hand.
God, stop doing that.
I don't even know I'm doing it. That's how bad it is.
And he's like this.
Firstform.com/Cam and Strick. Again,
Sunday at the
use
Lake
our
of the
link.
Ozarks.
I need to make it a point. When you send us your order, if you didn't order it through our link, it will not count.
Yeah, send it to a link.
You will not be entered. So
Send it
make
to the
sure you
link.
use our link. Firstform.com/Cam and Strick.
Send it to a link.
Illinois Recovery Center, IRC,
Right there in Swansea, Illinois.
IllinoisRecoveryCenter.com,
Yeah.
baby.
Swansea, Illinois.
If you or someone you know is in need of help, it's okay, man. These are the people that are here to help you and get your life back on track.
Chrissy Pondoff, Eric Conley.
Take advantage of it. They're the best. Hat Launch, hatlaunch.com. Cam, at Hat Launch, you get no.
You get best quality service and you get dang good hats, whatever that may be.
Mhm.
Could be your volleyball fucking team, could be your fantasy football team. I don't give a damn what
Quick
it is.
turnaround.
They will take care of everything, and the hats fit great. Check them out, Hat Launch.
America's #1 source for customized hats.
Dang right. Dang right.
Blue Note Roofing, Cam, 314-920-5713. Look for that Blue Note in the yellow truck.
Get your roof done, man. Especially if you're in St. Louis, you got that hailstorm going on back in May.
Yes.
You still have the insurance take care of that and have him do it.
Soffit,
Seriously, all that shit.
roofing,
Mine were all beat the fuck up.
siding.
Told you I had that tornado form and fucking hail went down on my house. They're like, dude, we could fix all this stuff. So I'm gonna get it done.
Fascia.
I'm gonna get it done.
Fascia.
Yeah.
Shilly Plastering, Cam. Get that Pebble Tech technology.
Take care of your investment.
5-year warranty.
Take care of your investment. That pool is your investment.
Mm.
Adds value and entertainment to your family, so you don't have to spend money on anything else. You can stay in your goddamn backyard. Get it fixed when shit goes down. And the lining gets fucked more than anything.
Yes.
So have Shilly do it. It's my boy right there. What's up, baby? Let's go.
SparksHockey.com. Sparks with an X. SPARX. You'll
Yeah.
save more money than Black Friday and Cyber Monday
don't have
when
to
you
deal
use our promo
you
code
don't-
Cam and Strick.
You don't deal with Seth, who's gonna fuck your shit up, and your kid's gonna fall and break his fucking AC joint. Don't have that.
Oh my God.
Don't have that. And he's weird.
Oh my God.
Ugh,
He works
God.
at the hockey shop.
He's doing weird things. But who cares about what he's doing weird? We'll figure that out
Just
later
get your
on.
Sparks. You don't have to worry
As
about
long as you don't live in a subdivision next to him.
what's in his computer history. and all
Computer
that.
history. smells weird in his room. It's really weird. Like, what is this? Bones. And the parents are like, he likes to collect. He's going to be a fucking, no, he's a psycho.
Yeah.
Like he's looking up dinosaur bones in the backyard. No, he's killing animals. Get on with yourself.
Proper Cannabis. Use our promo code Proper Cannabis. Use our promo code CAMANSTRICT20.
There it is right there. Get that mind right.
Save 20%.
Dang right.
And again, if
Proper.
you're dealing with sleep issues, pain management, all of that, man. Arthritis, they can help you out with all of it.
They'll take care of you.
Nobody does it better than Proper.
Right on.
Cam and Strict 20 saves you 20%. Cam at Bellman, you get no.
Swing index, none of that shit. Troy, Missouri. God dang it. Kenny, get back to god dang work. I told you.
And Danny?
Danny, the fuck are you doing? Get Kenny back to god dang work.
And Dale?
Dale, figure it out. No, we love you guys, man. Hell yeah. Troy, Missouri. What's
Buick
up, baby?
GMC on one side of the street. Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram right on the other side. All located where?
Troy, Missouri. Dang good place.
We thank the Florida Panthers and we thank Paul Maurice for joining us. We've had players, a couple players on from the Cup-winning team since they won. We've now had a couple people from their coaching staff on.
Big dogs.
So we are big fans of the Florida Panthers, man. We love the Florida Panthers.
Love you guys. Love all y'all.
I hope all y'all have a great rest of your week. Keep supporting and subscribe to the Cam and Strick podcast. We always appreciate it.
Check YouTube
Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Twitter. All social media.
All my shit,
platforms.
Baby. Let's go.
You can follow our individual accounts as well.
Yeah, everything.
Everything.
Well, we post everything on our individual accounts as well.
Yeah. Look for Cam on Hollywood Entertainment.
I don't tweet about anything. I talk about it on here.
God.
Oh, I'm sorry. Am I wrong on things?
Fact check his ass. Bring it to
Andy
me.
likes Diddy. Andy likes Diddy. We'll see you guys. Love all y'all. See ya. Love all y'all.
That's a bad thing to say.